Okay, and we should be live. Hello, everyone. And yeah, good evening. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful evening. I'm going to be doing this second round of replays. Replay of the week once again, posted on GameReplays. It's as simple as just uploading your games onto the replays tab on the website, and you just submit those whenever there's a call for replays. And I myself or whoever feels like streaming it that week will be casting those replays. So yeah, see there's a couple people here, so I think we can just get started. I think there's 6 replays total. One of them is actually mine as well. Mine, I know, is actually particularly long, so I think I'll save that for the very end. I don't think I'll start off with a very long replay. We'll go through these in chronological order from how they show here. Not necessarily based on submission order, but just how it's shown on the list. And then we'll go with this GLA mirror game. So gonna be starting off with T's against Meti on natural threats. I once again will emphasize I've not seen any of these replays ahead of time, so I don't know what to expect, except for the one that I played, of course. So got T's as the purple tank at the bottom of natural threats, and we got Marnie, which I literally just forgot who it is. Meti. Yeah, it's Meti. Who is the blue super weapon. So tank gets super weapon. And it's on a map you could comfortably bunker on, in all honesty. Given the fact that you have these flanks that are pretty narrow on the sides. You got a garrison here. You got a garrison here. And even a garrison here if you take that with a missile defender early on. You could theoretically bunker the one side with an EMP. You could put an EMP in the middle, so that way you limit the mobility or movement of the GATs in the middle. And you can also put an EMP here. But it doesn't look like we're gonna go with the EMP route. We're just gonna go with Humvees, and he has gone for Chinook, so this first V will be a little late. On the other side of the map, He's is going for a very greedy build order against the US, which is a Red Guard capture opener with 1 ore factory. I wouldn't normally do this on a map this size just because it's very easy to just send your first V at the side with the barracks and just kind of harass the trucks, deny this oil. You can even send a dozer here early if you scouted it with a drone, and Tease does have a spy drone here, so he does know about the barracks. I don't know if it's got the Red Guard in range, but he should anticipate some kind of capture, or it should be at least raising suspicion based on the fact that he went Red Guard as tank. Outpost gets cracked and the Red Guards get denied. Let me bump up the volume a little bit. There we go. Gatling does sneak in while the EMP was being built. Kind of poor micro from Meti. He pulled the Chinook pretty late, and the GAT was there for quite a bit of time. Tank Hunter is moving in. He might actually try and use this Tank Hunter as bait and to kill the dozer. Ooh. That was very, very poorly microed from Meti, I think. He walked the V into the EMP, tanked the EMP rocket damage and disabled the V, and he lost what was essentially a full V to 2 Tank Hunters. And he also lost to 1 Chinook already to this Gatling. Yeah, this is not a good start for Meti, especially because this the tank has actually gotten an oil behind this. So, oddly enough, the person who went the greedier build order has been able to put out more aggression early on. Which I guess because he's going for EMPs, it makes sense, but I mean, if you scout this barracks here, you should not be thinking about EMPs immediately. You should be thinking about denying an oil, even playing on the aggressive, because you're seeing a barracks very clearly. You don't go barracks normally as tank, unless you're spamming tank hunters, or you're going oils. And tank doesn't really play tank hunter spam that well, given it's not very cost efficient to go to tank hunter as opposed to just war factor gat spam. I mean, nice micro here as well. Like, there's good multitasking in the sense that Meti is controlling this army while he's gunning down the soil, but he's actually letting Tease take his own oil. I mean, this is unforgivable, honestly. Like, it's in vision as well, so he could have even moved the dozer to try and potentially stop that. He has a second dozer anyway, so there's very little risk of at least microing the dozer forward. And now there's troop crawler in front of the power plant gunning it down. I would have liked to see Red Guard vet, to be honest. Just because if you're gonna go early with crawlers like this, especially against super, you may as well go all out and maximize your power. I think he's got no napalm yet, but that MiG does weaken the V enough to where it just gets gunned down. But I think he's locked onto the V and just let the MDs clear up the entire ground army. He's focusing the V, kills the V and an MD. I think overall this still benefits Tease massively just because he's so far ahead economically. This Gatling cannon makes very little sense to build at this stage. I think he knows that Meti is cornered in his base, so this Gatling cannon should have been a supply, honestly, here at this stage. Or even if you wanted to be very aggressive, you could build a second airfield and just flat out MiG spam the super weapon to death. Like, this Gatling achieves nothing, especially because you know super has to play on defense when you're sending these waves of Gats through the middle. 34 micro on the Gatling. Yeah, this oil being in control of Tease is very unforgivable for Meti. Like, you should never let your opponent just capture your own base oil like this casually. And he's gonna start gunning it down. He doesn't have MDs yet loaded in this V, so he's gonna have to defend with a laser lock. There's an airfield being made. I mean, if the game gets to Auroras, he can turn it around, but I think he needs to stop using the MiGs right now on the Vs, and he needs to focus on one side to push through. He needs to use these 4 MiGs, the Firestorm and EMP, and then just push with everything through that side. Since he knows the search is here, if he checked, then he should probably either kill this to kill the strat, or he should go through here to get access to Aurora. Yeah, these MiGs on the MDs are very useless. I think this is like a complete waste. Like, you have no reason to be hitting the army like this. Like, I guess there it makes sense because he doesn't have all 4 MiGs ready, but I mean, he could have just hit this CMP and he doesn't even have to fight. He can just flat out push, and what does super weapon do at that stage? I just think there's ways he can refine it to where he's putting less risk on this alpha making a move. Nice TNT on this ambulance. He's gonna try and ram it to the Gatling. He should stop it at this point just to try and kill it. Good move from Meti to ram it in. There's the first alpha. If he kills the airfield with the alphas on it, he actually does have a chance of recovering, but he needs to get a lot of good alpha shots. Alpha gets used defensively on the Gatling. Tease is making a aggressive barracks as well. I mean, I think honestly at this stage you can afford a third war factory. Just plonk it through the middle and spam troop crawlers from it. I think making a barracks with tank hunters is just not that effective as tank. Aurora gets used again defensively, and Meti calls it GG. I mean, I think it was a matter of not really playing correctly against a greedy build order. If you see someone going for greed, I think it makes very little sense to go for EMPs that early. He had a spy drone over the barracks. There's very little reason to shift into defensive EMP spam if you see your opponent open up with a barracks. And then you also see red guard come out of it. Like, the first thing you should be thinking about is capture upgrade from those red guards coming out. I just think it's very strange to go for that many EMPs like that. Let's see. Um, okay. Let me just check the stream comments. Yeah, you just need to, there's like a call out thread usually. I think it's on a bi-weekly basis is how they're doing it, where you can see a call for replays of that week, and you just submit a replay, Hesso. I think the tank played nicely, but I don't think tank can really get away with a build order like that typically. I think that was just a poor reaction from Meta in all honesty in terms of adapting to that build order. So let's go with the next one. I think this has Bugs Bunny in it, the Warner Bros. Character. So Bugs Bunny is in the pink stealth on top right of Farmlands of the Fallen. And then there's Churachaki. I have no clue if that means something, but that's his name. I'm just gonna call them Chaki just to make it short, as the red super weapon on the bottom of Farmlands of the Fallen. So stealth versus super weapon on Farmlands is interesting because you can go for a very greedy build order centered around these oils. And I think that's what Chucky might be doing actually as well. Meanwhile, Bugs Bunny is going for triple supply opener, which I think is normally good against super weapon if you're stealth. But I don't know how I feel about it on this map. I'm a bit hesitant on this map in particular because I feel like you can actually just get a bigger eco boom than the GLA if you do have access to the oils this early on. Although the benefit of triple supply is you're getting a fake arms dealer. You're gonna have more money for tunnels. So he's tunneling one of the oils, which is nice. But these bottom oils are completely untouched by Bugs Bunny right now. There's an EMP being built on this oil. It's an okay idea. I like the idea of defending the ranger cap. Personally, I think an EMP is a bit risky because if you get TNT'd on your power, then this is basically useless. I like to usually just build 2 MDs or 3 MDs to guard a ranger if I'm going for this oil greedy build. If he's quick, he should take this garrison, which will just be a little annoying because it's going to limit Bugs Bunny's vision quite a bit. And Chucky actually has 1 oil and he's going to get a second one. He's going to try for a third, but this RPG should be able to contest it, at least, if it goes in the garrison. And this tech, I don't know if it actually has anything. It's empty right now, so I don't know why he's going in with this tech. I think that's a bit useless. Yeah, he's not really achieving anything with it, and I also like what Jackie's doing. He's collecting off a third Chinook while he doesn't have his second supply yet with the excess money. He should drop down a second supply still because it is still much quicker to collect with 2 supplies than it is with 1, even if you're long distance collecting like this. He's also dropping down a quick strat center, and I think that's an EMP that's gonna try and... yeah, it locks down the tech RPG. I thought that was a TT, sorry. I thought he was gonna TNT the strat and reset it, but that's actually very good for Chucky. I think Chucky's in a phenomenal position right now, honestly. All he really needs to do is make this supply here make an EMP here, EMP here, and he's basically good to go to just wait out until he gets Auroras and start taking map control with SNDVs. I think he's also loaded it in a Ranger with flashbangs. I didn't check the upgrades, but I think he has flashbangs now, given he just loaded that with a Ranger. And you can also just load up a Ranger in a V, so while you're pushing into an oil area, you can retake it by evacuating the Ranger. This area is unprotected for a little bit, so there's a small window of opportunity. There is no flashbang, so just check. Tucson Tractor forces the evac and the tech's cleared up. There is a small window of opportunity where maybe Bugs Bunny can force a close quarters engagement with these techs. Especially because the Vs are hiding behind the buildings as well, so it's not like they're really abusing the range. If Chucky is quick and he's queuing up an Aurora, I think he should just stop the Aurora and make a Comanche at this point. Because if an Aurora gets queued up and all these techs charge in, he runs a risk of losing it. And I think that's what's gonna happen. He doesn't lose the Aurora, but that was unnecessarily close, I feel. He could have very easily lost 2k if he snuck one of the techs down the side through this little gap. So he's got an Aurora now. We need to see what's the first target he hits. He still hasn't made the second supply, actually. And he's making it here. I mean, you have your supply piles here. You don't really have a reason not to do it. I like what GLA is attempting here. I think he tried to use one tech as a decoy from the EMP, and he's trying to sneak one to the airfield. But Chucky's on point with the EMP, so kind of gets caught out. And yeah, now there's actually a scary amount of Vs. A lot of quads. So good transition from Bugs Bunny. No more text, and now it's just quads. He still has not used this Aurora yet. He saw where the quads popped earlier, and he has no CC yet, so he can't scan around for tunnels, which makes it a little annoying. But honestly, in this position, I would just maybe even front line with one MTV. Like one of these Vs I think might be empty. Yeah, you front line with this V just to scout where the tunnel is, and then you use the Aurora to clear it up if there's a pop. He's gonna use the Aurora to take the garrison down to critical health and decrew the RPGs from it. He's taking the refinery now, so it's 20% off vehicles. It's actually nice for super weapon, especially because you have expensive Vs. He's making a fire base, so he is bunkering up, which is good. He can move this ranger to take this oil, though I'd want to have the Vs guarding near there if he's gonna do that, because then he can think about pushing this position or pushing this position. If you're putting the Vs further back, you're not really making them have any active presence on the map. Two techs coming. One of them is a TNT, the other is a decoy. He's gonna use the decoy to bait the EMP rockets, and then the TNT to kill the EMP. Though the terrorists are bugging out on the EMP. One terrorist dies to the bullets from the V, so it will not kill the EMP, but the quads finish it off. And there's a lot of quads here actually, but Aurora comes in and it trades for two quads, which isn't actually worth it, given that Bugs Bunny is actually claiming some control of the map, but he actually hasn't expanded anywhere on the map yet. A lot of quads going down again, though. Which is very unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, I think if Bugs Bunny had these three supplies collecting, this would actually be a very good position for him, but he's actually on surprisingly very little money. I mean, this is exhausted, and this will be exhausted too soon as well. So he's actually going to be on one supply and one oil. When, if you look at the map, he has control over all the middle supplies and even the corners, so he should have way more money than how the map looks at the moment. Artillery platform gets taken by Chucky. Oil gets killed over here. And this oil was killed, so Chucky's gonna be limited to his base supplies only. And his strat's even getting threatened. And he's not responding to it quick, so this might actually go down. No AP bullets, but I mean, he lost his strat very unnecessarily there. His V army was completely out of position. And I think when I was talking earlier about guarding the Vs here and thinking about pushing here, I mean, this is why you kind of want to do that, because you're giving the GLA the whole map. They can kind of push from any side that you're not present at. And we actually a stealth fighter. This is very bizarre play from Chucky. I think he's trying to do too many things at once here a little bit. He's trying to prepare some kind of fancy money shot with the stealth fighter by forcing a tunnel decrew or a tunnel evac and then following up with an Aurora, but I mean, I don't really think he's in a position to be doing that. Like, if you have extra cash, sure, but this shouldn't be your main strat in all honesty. He's gonna try it now. First Scud Storm is up as well. Oh, wow, okay. I think, yeah, I think what happened there is he killed the tunnel while the bunker buster was loading up, and because the tunnel died, I think it evac'd the quads, but it didn't kill it. So it was a cool trick, but I mean, Pink has the whole map. He's finally getting his supplies, so he should have gotten that like a couple minutes earlier, but if he had gone a couple minutes earlier, I mean, imagine how much more money he would have been able to snowball immediately. Like, he might have been able to even squeeze an extra scud or two. Very nice spike from Bugs Bunny there. Sends a stealth bike cross map to snipe an Aurora. That's absolutely worth it. And Chucky is rank 4, while the stealth is 3-star. I'm curious as to whether stealth has gotten GPS, and based off the fact he's building up a CC, it might be the case that he did in fact get GPS. There is a unguarded oil here, by the way, and I think he should have honestly tunneled this in case of a Burton. This Burton should be able to easily tunnel this if he scans the oil and sees no tunnel. It's a scary quad buggy army over here. And it's pushing on the side of the CC. I don't know if we have seen any general powers, and I think Bugs Bunny is anticipating a general's power. The Vs are actually all the way over here, but I mean, there's a lot to push forward through. Spectre's being called in to try and clear this army. He's actually gonna kill the CC at this rate. Does he have another dozer? Oh my god, he doesn't. He's gonna get hunted. That's his last dozer. Yeah, Chucky barely gets out with his last dozer. There's another stealth bike actually near the airfield, and it got past the search and destroy too. He could actually use that to kill the last dozer, you know. If he has AP bullets on, he could actually just gun it down with the bike. I wonder if he's gonna do that. He has the stealth fighter on guard modes, and I do think it will kill the bike. Oh, he moved the stealth fighter. He's gonna try bunker busting again. Buggies are coming out in response to the Vs. Yeah, this bike could have killed the dozer. The dozer was low HP. I don't know why he's not doing it. No flashbangs, he's just gunning down the garrison manually. One B gets taken out. Firearm says we don't know what's happening in Pink space. Well, we see 2 markets and a stealth scud. Yeah, this was a missed opportunity from Pink. He could have just easily dozer hunted Chucky, and I think that just would have been game over flat out. A couple of Rangers capturing the other artillery platform. This is a bit late, but he's getting around to it. Another quad push on the left, once again. He still has search and destroy. I don't know how full these Vs are. Yeah, they're kind of full, but This is a pretty tight engagement, but he's not redirecting his fire. Oh, he just lost another Aurora as it spawned. And it goes to the bike again. So now he has a vet 2 bike. I think Chucky still doesn't know that this bike is here actually. If we check his vision, very like very subtly, there might be like a little bit of smoke here that will sometimes crop up. That's how you can kind of tell sometimes if a bike is around or if you hear the sound of the bike while it's moving. But if it's staying still like this, I'm not sure if you can actually see it. He's moved a bunch of rangers to attack this middle supply, which is fairly unguarded. I'm not sure why this has very little there. He still has access to these supplies here, so... Meantime, this Burton still has not TNT'd this oil. He actually moved the Burton, but he didn't touch the oil. Maybe he thinks there's a tunnel, but... I mean, he should have scanned it. I mean, yeah, the Bunker Buster is pretty useless outside of evacuating tunnels. Scudstorm fires. I'm gonna assume this is on the strat. Maybe it's gonna be right here. Yeah. Kills a Chinook as well. He might kill a second Chinook. Yeah, gets a second Chinook and the War Factory with the strat. Pretty good trade at this stage in the game. Couple more quads. He finally has AP bullets. And I don't see how Chucky can win at this stage if he's this far behind. Burton finally TNTs the oil. But I think it's way too late at this stage. I mean, Pink actually has very little in his base. And I think that's partially because he expanded quite late to the middle and the corner. So he should have had way more sooner. Like, I think Pink actually could have won this very convincingly. Had he just focused on his macro game a little bit earlier. The bike finally gets spotted. Yeah, it's a vet 3 bike now, so I'm actually gonna assume he killed a third Aurora. So that bike killed 3 Auroras, and I think 3 out of the 4 Auroras this game died to a bike, which is very worth it for Bugs Bunny. There is a terrorist here, so it actually might kill the arms dealer if it gets exploded by the cannon from the Spectre. Oh, he's actually comboing it with the AA-10. Oh, this is level 2 Spectre, I think, actually. I mean, level 2 Spectre is okay early on, because you can use level 2 Spectre to kill a palace without fortifications, but I mean, yeah, in later stages of the game, it's not really that useful. I mean, I think Red had a good start, in all honesty. I think Red had the better start, but the quad push on the left kind of ended the game when the CC got taken down. And he could have also just dozer hunted Chucky immediately with the bike when the V's moved out with the stealth fighter. Like, I think it was a convincing win for Pink, but it could have been way more convincing if he expanded sooner and took over the map like a little bit quicker and just macroed up a little more with markets and probably an extra scud or two. I'm gonna skip over this replay because this replay is particularly long and I'll save that for the very end. Let's go with this one. It's just called Laser versus Air. I think this one was submitted by Mars. Rate's saying, I will send you a 3v3 replay. Check Discord in a minute. Just cast that for the next round of replays because I already have enough replays to cast and I'm not sure how long the rest of these replays are, but this one in particular is a very long replay, which is why I'm suggesting to probably save that for the next round of replay casts. Let's just look at this one. It's on Oil Rampage, Laser versus Air. And it's Joseph as the yellow laser versus Facey as the red Air Force. on Oil Rampage. So you got 7 oils in each base and a refinery. And likewise on the other side of the map, you have some pretty narrow flanks, and you have these 2 cliffs as well as this main path to each of the player bases. I think typically speaking, Oil Rampage usually throws off a lot of the army balance and tends to equalize certain imbalanced matchups quite a bit. So I think in this particular case, US versus Air Force is not that particularly imbalanced on Oil Rampage. It's very doable to win as the US. I think selling in particular in this matchup in US mirrors on Oil Rampage is a pretty big mistake because it leaves you very open to getting hunted, and especially as Air Force, I think a dozer drop and building proxy barracks from the laser is actually a very strong tactic to go for. So I'm actually surprised Joseph doesn't do that. He's walking the dozer, and I think he's gonna do kind of the same idea. He's trying to go for a crush, but the ranger's on this side, which is a bit unfortunate. Facey has the oil capture. He went war factory as well instead of airfield. I would go for airfield typically, just so you can deny the ranger caps, but Facey's just gonna go with the old school combat Chinook. I don't think combat Chinook is as strong on this map in particular, because you're gonna be seeing a lot of infantry in the early game. Joseph goes for a crush on the ranger here. He's building a proxy barracks. I think, yeah, I dislike combat Chinook on this map in particular. I actually think it's pretty weak, just because if you spam MDs in all of these sort of important pathways, like all these important entrances and key points, it makes the combat Chinook kind of useless, and you have to play very carefully with it. Whereas if you just go King Raptor, I mean, you're not going to be able to intercept Raptor PDL that easily with just MGs. You'd need Tovies at that stage, and I think Joseph should also be focusing on getting war factories. Yeah, I like that he's building one now. This barracks gets locked down early, but I don't think that's a bad thing for Joseph. He's gonna hit one dozer of faces, and yeah, this is what I'm talking about with selling the CC in a US mirror like this. I mean, one sneaky drop like this and you could potentially get hunted very easily. Facey's going for a CC, but he's very aggressively driving past the MDs. He could have gotten hunted there. Facey's not actually microing his Vs as of yet, and I think it's because he's worried about the laser lock. There's another drop being prepared by Joseph. I mean, I'd get a second war factory at this point and just start Tovi spamming. I mean, you have a ton of oils captured, there's no reason not to. Joseph's gonna try and hunt Facey. Facey's keeping a combat Chinook around to try and intercept, but yeah. Facey is quick to put the dozer in the Chinook, which is good reaction. But yeah, see, this combat Chinook doesn't really achieve much. I mean, if he had an airfield and 3 Raptors, I mean, he'd at least be able to chip at the oils, chip at the Vs, chip at the Chinooks that are coming in. Like, he can kill the Chinook that's driving in with the drop. And he's bringing another combat Chinook like this. And, I mean, the combat Chinook's PDL is not that strong, bear that in mind. It's actually pretty weak. And, yeah, he's risking the HP of this Chinook quite a bit. He might lose the combat Chinook given how close it is. Yeah, I feel like he's making it unnecessarily difficult going combat Chinook. There's another drop being prepared, and he's got 2 drops right on the dozer. He might actually just flat out laser lock this Chinook. Yeah, I think that Chinook's dead. Oh, the CC blocks it though. He's gonna reset the CC progress, which is nice. So hunting him is still on the table. I don't know why Joseph isn't dropping a second war factor, and he's not even taking this supply. There's an Avenger that gets dropped, kills the combat Chinook. Facey was floating 12k a second ago. He needs to be dropping more production as well. I mean, even if you get hunted as Air Force, I think you should minimum drop down more production before thinking about a CC. So even if you do get hunted, at least you can spam your way to victory rather than limit yourself to 2 barracks and 1 war factory. Like, hunting is not like the end all be all. You should at least prioritize having production so you can make use of the money. Another set of MDs and an Avenger. There's a Ranger as well. He could just gun down the soil, honestly. Base is kind of doing a Hail Mary. I don't know what he's doing, throwing 5 MTVs at Joseph. I mean, these are all just gonna get laser locked. I mean, I don't think this is particularly good play to just Hail Mary into the base like this, especially going through this front path, because this is usually the path where most of the army's gonna be lined up as well anyways. He's pulling all of his Chinooks forward. Oh, I think Facey's doing that because he did get hunted, probably. Yeah. I mean, at this point, yeah, he may as well do that, but like I said, if he had a second war factory, this wouldn't be as terrible of a situation, I think. It's a laser tank being made, even. I mean, laser tanks are not great, especially before composite armor. Joseph's also making a second war factory finally now. I mean, both of these guys should have had a second war factory ages ago. In this position, Joseph actually should be dead because there's Chinooks covering the Vs for the MDs, and these Vs can just camp out any unit. But saying that, Joseph's actually going for a base race. Now, Facey can make a Pathfinder to clear this up pretty easily, but Joseph can't really do much to stop this. There is an A10, but it's gonna get blocked by the Chinooks. 1V gets taken out, probably due to the bullets. But yeah, Joseph's rebuilding on the left side. He actually has not lost any eco, bear that in mind. He only lost maybe a Chinook here, so he was collecting the whole time there. Oh yeah, Joseph doesn't have this oil and this refinery. That's like very, very big mistake right there. I mean, Facey's limited on only these barracks for production. He can't even make a combat Chinook, so it's these 5 Bs and the infantry of Facey that's left. Facey does a massive ranger drop. He's gonna take over these oils. Just limits the income of Joseph. Joseph was low power for a second because he's making a laser tank while only on one non-control rod power plant. I mean, at this stage, if you're Facey, all you really need to do is make these Vs full, and I think you just win very easily. He should just airlift all his infantry, make 2 Chinooks on each of these, use these remaining Chinooks to drop all the infantry forward, and just win the game. Like, if these were full rock Vs, these laser tanks have 0 chance. But yeah, he even has Pathfinders too, so he just needs to make a Pathfinder as well for any MDs like this, and Facey easily wins this. Like, it shouldn't even be lost at this stage. But Facey's trying to airlift what he can into Chinooks for some reason. And he's going for his own counter hunt. I mean, I think this will not get away because of the tow missile. Yeah. But again, Facey's not airlifting his infantry. He's just attack moving across the map. Like, he shouldn't be sending his units one by one. If he sends his units one by one, it's really difficult to make anything happen. Whereas if he went in all together with the infantry, if he had these 5 Vs earlier, pushing with MDs and Pathfinders in them, no way can Laser win at that stage. Like, Laser cannot build anything to beat that combination at this stage, especially without any advantage like Search and Destroy. So I think this is a massive throw from Facey. If Joseph builds 1 Pathfinder, he just wins the game as well at this stage. He should have Pathfinder as well. He used level 1 A10 here. He should not have skilled level 2 A10 if he did. Like, he should have honestly just skilled Pathfinder, because you can kill a barracks with level 1 A10 anyway, so you have zero reason to get level 2 A10. Yeah, finally there's a sniper. Okay, yeah, this game is over now. I mean, Pacey can't win if there's snipers and bees at this stage. There are a lot of Chinooks, so maybe he's gonna try some massive drop and burst down the barracks. But I think there's too many snipers. Like, this shouldn't be winnable at this stage if you're in Pacey's position. I think Pacey could have won this game even despite the really poor production management from like him and Joseph. Just by the sheer power of full Vs, but I don't think he really recognized that in time. Yeah, he kills the barracks, but there's like 5 Pathfinders out already. It doesn't make a difference. Pacey's gonna have all the income in the world, but there is no way Pacey wins. Joseph's gunning down his own oils with laser tanks over here. And all Joseph needs to do is just spam Vs in his war factory and he wins as long as he parks 2 Pathfinders nearby. Yeah, Pacey's been defeated. I mean, I don't think that was particularly amazing. Like, yeah. Oh, he had 2 A10s? Oh, I mean, maybe he wanted to overpower the Chinook PDL, but I mean, if he just has one sniper and the US only has barracks, there's nothing you can do. That's also why you don't sell on this map, because what's the point of selling if you're just gonna get a ton of money anyways immediately from oil caps? You're just setting yourself up for the potential of getting hunted. I think people who sell on this map in particular in US matchups are pretty stupid. Like, I think it's just genuinely stupid to do that for US matchups. If you're playing US China, it makes sense, but US mirror specifically, there's very little reason to sell. Next up is Nuke Inf on Barren Badlands. I think I know who sent this one. Yeah, this is Faster. I think he's the Vet 3 German. As the orange infantry on the right versus Terron, who is the blue nuke on the left. Yeah, so hello Excal, and yeah, the 1k doesn't really matter from CC cell if you're capturing oils. So this is a pretty imbalanced matchup. I expect the Inf to win, to be honest, but this is Barren Badlands, and Barren Badlands usually has some pretty wacky games, especially base race kind of games, because you have these very forward supplies that can sometimes be used as setup for proxy war factories. Vet 3 German, or I'm just gonna say Faster because I know it's Faster. Faster is going for a tank hunter and a proxy war factory. I mean, this is pretty extra to be doing this as the infantry, especially. Like, I really don't see why you need to go proxy war factory against nuke. But I mean, it's not bad, but I just always feel as though if you have army advantage, why play a riskier build order if you can just play it very safe? He's actually using this tank hunter to garrison this bunker, which I kind of like. Terran actually led with a flamer, but I think he's rally scouting, but he actually hasn't found. I think he's trying to see if there's a war factory or an airfield. He's gonna see the war factory now. This war factory should be dead immediately. If he's microing this tank, this flamer, he should have seen that and just killed it instantly. Yeah, I think if Terran did that and he just built a Battlemaster, then this would have been almost 100% like a really good start, if not almost like an instant win for him. Because he's gonna trade this war factory. These flamers are gonna trade here. And Terran's already expanded here. And it's gonna be this airfield against probably a war factory here. I think if Terran saw this one unit earlier, he actually could have just instantly won the game. He even had a Battlemaster as well made, so he could have probably recovered. Yeah, I think this is just... I'm gonna say that's a bit of stroke of luck there for Fast there. Because that definitely should would not work under most circumstances, I feel. He's actually trying to prep up a helix, but the barracks is getting camped out. He only has one tank hunter to make use of the helix, which is not nearly as threatening. But he's taking the oils. I say German. I'm saying German here because it literally says German. Theron sees the dozer building a low power Gatling. There's only one tank hunter in this, I think. So this helix is not nearly as threatening. If Faster is making mines on this, he could potentially snipe the flamer, but he's gonna lose a supply here. I mean, if you're in Terron's position, all you really need to do is spam Gatlings from this war factory. Yeah, he's starting to do that now. Bandmaster dies to the mines. This flamer was very late to the flame wall. It could have probably killed the airfield as well if he flame walled that sooner. It's not gonna kill it now, for sure, I think. Yeah, this is way too late. Actually, he still might get it. Oh, he still gets it. Faster is prepping a ton of infantry here. I think the power plant's actually blocking him from entering the bunker, which is unfortunate. Gatling is chasing the helix down. I also want to point out that if he killed this dozer here, he would stop the expansion in his main base. Because then he needs to figure out where the second dozer went. But if there's no dozer in the main base, then he can't retake his main base and build a war factory like this. So if he killed the dozer with the flamer earlier, he probably would have also made this potentially a very quick win. I don't know why Terran is making more flamers when he knows there's a licks out. He should just make Gatlings. Faster is losing a helix to a Gatling that was just attacking it idle. That should have been in his vision as well, because he has the vision from the infantry here. A troop crawler being made by Terran. I think that genuinely might have been the worst unit he could have made in this situation, to counteract this flamer. Yeah, I mean, if he uses a battle master, he can kill the flamer and then ram it into the infantry. If he uses something else as cannon fodder, but he just didn't kill anything there. Yeah, I think that was... An outpost might have been the only unit worse to make in that situation, I think. But that was not the unit, for sure. Terran has a prop. Terran's floating 9k as well. He just dropped down a second war factory. I mean, if Terran makes... Terran can still win this, actually. If all he does is just make another war factory, makes like a nuke cannon from this or an overlord, drops this and maybe makes like a troop crawler unironically at this point because there's no dragon anymore, so he just needs to stall this outpost. He can very easily still win. And then maybe make a Lotus as well after this war factory. But he's sending these flamers going all the way to the base, when he's also losing his main base. And yeah, it's cool that you're killing this guy's base, but you are also losing your own base. And he's just gonna re-expand here. And you're gonna be slower to expand than he is, because he's already got a dozer to re-expand, and your dozer's still next to your supply that's already built, and the next safest supply is all the way in the insert main base. Like, this base trading game is cool, but I don't think he's playing it particularly well relative to how he could have played it. Like, I think Terran actually had a lot of opportunities to very easily take this game if he made the right decisions, because he's got 10k and he's only got one war factory production. He can spend this money easily. He's got a command center now, and Fastair doesn't have a command center yet. He's built a dozer making a power plant, but it's stopped here. Is he on the power plant? I think he thinks that's the last dozer. He spent 1 point on Red Guard. He just used the new carpet bomb on the War Factory. He's gonna see this last dozer. All he needs to do is deal with this outpost. He just needs to micro this flamer around these two outposts, pop the outpost with the tank hunters, and he wins the game. He's not microing the ECM well though. And his units are very dangerously close to the flame wall. He almost loses the flamer to the power plant explosion as well. Terron's expanding finally. But he's not made another war factory. I mean, he's on one supply, so it makes sense to prioritize the supplies a little. But I think he very poorly microed these 3 units that were very threatening to any outposts at this point in the game. This flamer is gonna get taken out as well. And Terron is on 3 supplies, while Fast Air is on 2 oil, 0 supply. And Fast Air is very aggressively building a supply here. I mean, this doesn't even make sense. Like, there's no reason these tank hunters should not target that supply. If you just place a scaffold next to units like that, it's just gonna get instantly clicked normally. But I think Terron's just not paying attention there for some reason. I like the bunker. It's a nice call. Although I will say, if Terron just gets 2 Infernos or a nuke cannon and starts sieging this from afar, Fast Air should not have a way to deal with that at this stage, given he's only on a war factory and a barracks. I mean, yeah, I just make a nuke cannon. There's no reason not to, because a nuke cannon can't really be contested, and you're just gonna get constant damage. Or if you really want to kill the buildings, you just make 2 Infernos. Yeah, there we go. I'm glad I see the nuke cannon. And you got the subliminal messaging. You can't see it on the Overlord, but we see the yellow outline. And yeah, see how effective the nuke cannon is. Instantly cracks an outpost open. Can even kill the infantry with the radiation. And you can slow siege this. Yeah, he's sieging the bunker. Fast Air made a flamer, actually. Maybe he's trying to flame down parts of the map. Is Terron Fast Air, or is Fast Air Vet 3 German? I think he's usually Vet 3 German, but I might be wrong. Blue with stream sniping? Totally. The Fast Air is flaming down the supply, which is good, and he's flamed down the supply, so that knocks Terron back to 2 supplies. He's gonna be on 1 supply soon, because this is low in terms of money. I like that Terron's getting a couple of nuke MiGs. Even without the nuke missile upgrade, 2 nuke MiGs that are unupgraded will kill an outpost or kill a flamer. So they are effective against infantry. Although I am concerned about this army being clumped up. And I have a feeling what's gonna happen is that this command center is gonna be completed. And he's gonna call in a carpet and it's gonna kill this whole army. And this flamer is gonna get killed. I was gonna say flame down the CC, but it just dies. So both bunkers are killed. Let's see. There's the carpet. Was I right? Yep, I was right. This whole army is gonna get eviscerated. The nuke cannons, at least. War factory almost taken out. Supply taken out. But there's not much left of the supply. Still 2 Overlord, 2 ECM, and 2 GATs. There's a artillery on this supply. And he's actually ran out of cash here. Lose the entire airfield. What does Fast Air have behind this? Fast Air is orange indeed, yep. Yeah, I figured. Artillery being called in from blue now. He's gonna hit the infantry near the barracks and the bunker, I assume. or the bunker only. It's level 1, so it doesn't really do much. Kills a couple RPGs. Nuke missile made. This flamer is gonna kill the whole base because there's not a single unit guarding this. He needs to move this overlord to the CC. I don't know why this overlord's not moving to the CC. He's going to potentially lose the game to this, actually. He has an ECM. You can just disable this. And he actually might lose both dozers. Okay, he disables it, but airfield's gonna go down still. Fast Air still has uncommanded dozer. But both players know CC. Terran's gonna make a CC on the bottom left. Kills the barracks. Kills the bunker. There's one outpost, but it's kind of blocked from getting to the dozer because of that overlord as well. So, pretty full outpost gets taken out. Oils are still in Fast Air's control. He's got 2 dozers, and he's gonna rebuild supplies in his base. I think what's gonna happen here is that Fast Air is gonna take both of his base supplies back, and because they have not been collected, he might just be able to starve out Terran, but I mean, this army is kind of unstoppable at this stage. You need, like, a general power to kill it at this stage. You can't really kill Overlord's GAT ECM without any kind of support power as infantry. If I was in Terran's position, I'd send one Overlord, like, forward as well to try and look for the last remaining dozers while gunning down buildings like that. Just to save up time in terms of looking for where to kill the last dozer and where it is so I can hunt my opponent. Terran got his CC back, and he's gonna collect from his base supply again. He's got a lot of trucks, but he's not using all of them. And keep in mind, all these sneaky flamers that Terran was doing as well, he didn't send a single one to the oils, I think, all game. I don't know if he's even scouted the oils. I don't know if he actually has. So it's very bizarre that, given how much flamer aggression Terran's gone for, I don't think he's ever sent one to the oil. And Fast Air sells his war factory after making 2 flamers. There's an ECM here, so these flamers should not be able to get in. Like, they should not be able to reach the base. And he even has an ECM Battlemaster near this war factory, but he's moving it forward. I mean, if you're in Terran's position, you have to be thinking 2 things. You need to be thinking what can make you lose the game, and what can make you win the game. Obviously, what can make you win the game is hunting the Imp's last dozers. But what can make you lose the game, and I think you saw that a little bit earlier, was a sneaky flamer just killing his entire base. I don't know why he's posturing a Battlemaster and an ECM like this. He should be thinking about every possible sneaky route that he can come from. And you can just kind of gauge that based off of the map in terms of where there's fog and where you have vision. So you see here, now he sees there's a flamer in vision. He has the radar upgrade as well from CC, so he should be able to see this. Yeah, he snipes his 2 flamers, but now he's just gonna lose a war factory and a supply. He is taking over Fast Air's base again. I mean, I think this is also poor unit management as well from Terran. I mean, he's moving his whole army everywhere at once. He's not really relegating units to defend areas, so as soon as he takes over this area, he just loses it to 1 flamer. Where if he just parks 1 Battlemaster, then that never happens. I think this is poor unit management, and Terran literally sees the CC being built and does not stop it. I mean, he literally got vision of this. This is pretty poor play, in my opinion, from Terran. Like, there really isn't much sugarcoating to it. And yeah, he saw this flamer with the ECM and Battlemaster. He has radar in his CC. Like, you can tell his CC is upgraded with radar. And he's losing his whole base to one flamer from a flank. When if he just guard moded a Battlemaster, which he saw with the radar from his CC, he could have easily avoided it. And now he's risking losing the game because he doesn't know even if Fast Air is close to 5-star. He could have EMP'd this army potentially. And yeah, again, he's sending a dozer to expand and he has nothing to defend it. So it's just dying to one unit. Like, literally a bunker being built here defends from this. One Battlemaster, one ECM Gatling easily defends it. Terran kills the war factory and the barracks here, takes over the oil, and Inf actually loses because he loses his last building, but that was not convincing at all from the nuke in my opinion. I mean, even the very first minute, if he saw that, if he literally moved his first flamer to that war factory, defended his base with Battlemasters, and then moved the flamer after he killed the war factory, instant win for the nuke. It's like an instant win. But I think he just strategically, both of them played that pretty poorly. Oh yeah. This is the second last replay before I cast the Epic GLA mirror. It's Tox Inf on Vendetta. Just off the matchup alone, this sounds like it's gonna be a tough one, potentially. We have 0 hours 202. I think this is supposed to be 0 hours 2021 again. But he has lost the 1, and he's now just 0 hours 202 as the purple Tox, and we have Nexus 4500 as the green Inf. Now this is usually a pretty bad matchup in all honesty, and even on a map like this, it's still a pretty bad matchup because Inf is just not very favorable against Tox. I mean, you have the Tox tunnels, they can just one-shot the infantry. If you crack open an outpost with the RPGs from a Tox tunnel, you just instantly kill it. So you oftentimes see Inf going for a very aggressive opener like a Licks and a Truck Rush that's precipitated, or that's a fancy word. That's before the Licks Rush. Usually a Truck Rush is led, and then the Licks is the follow-up. But we see 3 Dozer opener from Nexus. And I don't know how I feel about this. It's not that bad because you can actually very comfortably go for a triple supply. But the risk you run with this is that a tech RPG kind of destroys you. Especially because you're going 3 Dozer. So you're gonna have a pretty delayed army count early on. And 0 hours 2021 is actually going for oils. Loses a Tox Rebel to a minigunner. I'm not sure how I feel about that, given he could have just retargeted it and then captured once the Rebels' capture was off cooldown again. I mean, if you're getting gunned down like that with a Tox Rebel, just kill the unit and then wait for the capture. It's better than losing the unit, and yeah, it's better to not lose the unit than to lose the unit. There's no reason not to attack it back. And somehow Nexus has gotten away with a triple Dozer, triple supply build, and he's actually now transitioning to double War Factory. I mean, there's a big presence in the middle, and there's a tunnel that's being crept forward, but I think Nexus sees that with the outpost vision. There's actually a tunnel being built here by 0 hours 2021, and it's a pretty sneaky tunnel. It gives him access to the back of Nexus's base. This flamer is gonna flame behind the garrison to avoid the toxin tunnel fire. Tech RPG also dropped off a rebel. It's gonna gun down this outpost. And I think these outposts are pretty full. Yeah, they're quite full. There's an airfield that actually got built as well. And Nexus is actually in a very good position. If he makes something work with these two outposts, I think he could actually get a very substantial lead very quickly. I also think because he went 3 dozer, I would honestly send the 3rd dozer here just to try and expand to a 4th supply pretty greedily. Because when you have 3 dozers, you may as well make use of that extra dozer. This outpost is very forward and it's gonna get popped open barely. He evacs and kills the arms dealer. If he moves south, he can actually kill the rest of the Tox's base. Fortunately, this gets popped open, so infantry lose 50% of their health if they get killed while in an outpost. Needs to move the outpost with the infantry because you do get subliminal messaging from the outpost itself, which actually gives a lot of rate of fire to these infantry, especially with the horde bonus from patriotism. But this is just nationalism by default. You get patriotism after the prop center. I missed this, but there was a push as well on the top right. And I think he has retaliation off, so two tank hunters just killed a quad cannon that was vet 2. Another tunnel being built, and Infus still pushing here. Yeah, and I mean, this is why I also mentioned he should have sent the 3rd dozer here, because he could have even gone for a worker crush if there was a tunnel being built, and now 0 Hour 2021 has a supply here when in reality he really shouldn't have. Like, this supply should not exist if he sent that dozer a minute ago. RPGs killed the arms dealer again. He's building a fake on the right. I like how he's sending the outpost to try and maybe crush the workers. These tank hunters are being very poorly microed right now. Essentially lost all of his army there when he could have killed the supply again if he just moved a little bit south. That was just poor micro from Nexus. There's 3 tunnels here. A Lix is being made. I like the Lix because he knows he's shut down the arms dealers multiple times, so quad count should still be very low. Lotus is gonna take the oils. I like that, I like that. He's actually gonna just gun down the tunnels with the outposts in combination with the Lix. Good idea. He should be thinking about a CC. He's made a CC. Excellent stuff from Nexus. So he can immediately use his promotions. Loses an outpost. I mean, yeah, he doesn't need to lose these outposts. He could have just sent the Lix to clear that up. Or microed the damaged outpost a little bit better. This Lotus could have honestly gone for this oil as well. I don't know why he's playing very cautious with it. It's not like there's that many tunnels, and he can even time the Lotus cap with a push to divide the attention of the Tox a little bit. Tox is actually on 2 arms dealers, but they're just very weirdly spread out. And even though Tox's base looks very strange, he's actually economically ahead still. Because he's on 4 supplies and he's still got an oil. So this is deceptively what looks like a good position for Inf is not that amazing of a position. There's a Helix that was actually weakening the arms theater in combo with artillery. And 0 Hours 2021 sold it preemptively. I like that. It's a bit risky to sell because he could have honestly used that on over here as well. But the terrain's screwing up the flame wall a little bit, so these RPGs are able to attack without getting flamed. Helix needs to be careful not to get gunned down. This flamer is AFK. Please don't lose a flamer to 3 RPGs. Oh my god. He almost lost the flamer. Okay. And yeah, I mean, if you're Tox, you're still okay with this position because you still have a ton of money. And it's the Inf that ultimately has to make the move to push. Like, you can just camp out the entire game as a Tox. You can literally not attack Inf from the beginning of the game and still win, as long as you defend against all these in pushes, which honestly are not that hard at this stage. Given the fact he has a ton of money, he should have dropped the palace also a while ago. And I would even consider dropping like a forward barracks in some places, just to start rallying terrorists. And then once he has palace, he can start making angry mobs instead. Nice mix snipe on the rebel to deny the oil capture. 0 hours 2021. He might try one more time and then gun it down. He did pop a new rebel. There is a pretty big army, but again, this is still talks. This is not an easy siege nonetheless. He's got 2 Lixes. He needs to make 2 more mix so he has Firestorm potential as well on a tunnel or Stinger. He burns the Stinger soldiers with the Flamer, but Flamer's getting corroded by the Toxin tunnel. Quads are gonna clear up 1 outpost, but they get cleared up themselves. Another carpet. It might hit a few RPGs, only hits 1, but I mean, yeah. The more you pick at this int push, the slower it becomes, and the slower it becomes, the more time you have to buy to reinforce yourself. So even though Nexus had a really big menacing army, it's actually now pretty easy to manage, because now it's just 2 outposts. And you just need to start hitting it with a couple RPGs until they get cracked open, and then it becomes a real hassle to siege any more places that are covered by Tox tunnels. Yeah, now it's 1 outpost, and 1 outpost, 1 ECM is not that threatening in all honesty. He's actually gonna capture the supply, sells it, and there is a palace from 0 hours 2021. And yeah, there's the angry mobs with AK-47 as well, so he immediately researched it instead of Gamma, which I think is actually a smart move in this case. Because as soon as you have angry mobs, I mean, angry mobs are so annoying to deal with as in, because they barely give any XP. They kill everything Inf has that's on the ground, and they're just really annoying to approach. And it's not like you can ignore them. You ignore 1 angry mob, it'll kill your command center. So yeah, now the next upgrade he should probably be researching is Anthrax Gamma. He's dropping his first market here. I mean, this is just like personal word of advice. You shouldn't really drop buildings aggressively, even if it's quicker. Like you should be conscious of where you're placing your buildings, because yeah, this army's gonna come over and your first market's getting delayed unnecessarily. If he dropped it in his base, I mean, he would have continued production of the market. Like, you need to be thinking about base building efficiently as well. Even if it means you're saving a click by building faster. Like if you're gonna build, if you click on idle worker and your worker here is here, you're not gonna want to build a scud storm here, for example. You may as well build it at the back of your base. Carpet combos with the listening outpost. Finishes the supply and brings the tunnel to a hole. There's a ton of angry mobs though. And I think what 0 hours 2021 is doing right now is he's just attack moving the angry mobs. All of them to the outpost. I'd send a couple to the supplies and to each flank, just to see if you can get any potential pickoffs with your angry mob waves. You're not really losing a lot if you're losing the angry mob. I think if you kill the whole mob, you get 3 experience, which is nothing. Like I think that might be the lowest amount of experience you can get in the game from a unit. He's losing his mobs here, and he lost the Jarman to RPGs, which is a bit bizarre. The Elixers are here, and he's brought the Dozer here to reclaim this area. Tox ambush on the outpost. Good call. You may as well kill the outposts, and you may as well use the ambush while it's off cooldown. Next ambush, he should probably think about if this goes later on, it's potentially on hackers. There's no hackers yet from Nexus, but he is floating 11k and he's got quite a bit of money he can spend. We see a wall of defenses being constructed immediately in response to this area being taken. Nexus doesn't have vision yet. Nexus is moving on the right side of the map on the oil. He's artilleried the oil. And I think that was a level 3 artillery because it one-shot the yeah, it was level 3 artillery. He's rank 5, so he also has EMP as well. Infernos are gonna be great at sieging. And I don't think 0 Hours 2021 has scud launchers, so these Infernos are gonna be really annoying to break for the time being. Lotus scouts the wall of defenses. He actually moves the dozer back. I feel like he could have built a bunker or Gatling cannon here to at least fortify this position, but now 0 Hours 2021 is going to fortify that position for him with his own tunnels. Carpet on this supply. I think it's a bit useless to hit the supplies like this at this stage. I think you just want to hit markets if you can. I don't know how much vision he has. I don't think this market was in vision, yeah. He doesn't have any vision of the market, so I guess it is the next best target to go for. There is a gamma bus, so he needs to be a little bit careful. Tunnel actually finishes, and this is just going to be a really annoying headache to deal with. I think he has quite a few quads, I think, in that tunnel. So he can't just move Lixes in. He actually suicides the bus to push in to this army, which pushes it into the garrison, which actually cracks quite a few vehicles open. I mean, I think Tox is still not out of this, honestly. Because the map is drying up and I don't think Nexus got hackers that early either. So it's really this army until Tox is kind of able to sort of really eco up. But I think that this is a bit of a mistake to purely make angry mobs like this and just sending them out in the open. Like, yeah, you can send angry mobs here and there, but you shouldn't be only using angry mobs. Because I think it's a combination that makes it especially deadly. He almost loses a bus to Infernos. The quads are actually pushing here. He's gonna get some nice bounty and veterancy on these quads. Yeah, he just lost, I think, 4 or 5 angry mobs to the Infernos. Lotus is still alive as well, so if Lotus can sneak a black market capture, that would be very helpful to equalize the income. Bad timing from the MiGs. He should have timed it with 4 together for the Firestorm. I think he's just W selecting all his MiGs without really grouping them together. It's a bit complacent, but you'd rather do it properly rather than not get anything out of it at all. Because yeah, it's just slowing down his push more. And every minute you're taking to like slow down this push, the Tox is getting more and more income to slowly recover. So even though Inf has hackers and Inf has all of this army, keep in mind all Tox really needs to do is hold, and he basically is able to win it in the long run. So Inf is technically on a timer. 4 MiGs hit the battle bus, 1 goes down. He doesn't have Anthrax Gamma still. It's a pretty big mistake actually, because Gamma is a significant upgrade, especially for the Tox ambush too. And yeah, I mean, yeah, the ambush gets cleared up, but he killed all 3 Infernos, so now he lost all his siege potential. And now these stingers and tunnels are going to be a massive headache. So he has to wait for the MiGs to reload or to make more Infernos, which will take more time, which gives more time for Mr. 0 Hours 2021 to bunker up with more markets. Lotus, I don't think, has any markets she can steal at this point, unfortunately, for free. So it's really gonna come down to does 0 Hours 2021 screw up his camp or not? Because I think in this position, Tox shouldn't lose. I don't see how Tox loses this unless an engagement goes horrendously bad. Yeah, RPGs are being pulled probably for another bus in preparation. Another carpet. He's gonna time the carpet with the push and maybe the artillery. There's actually no tunnel left on this side of the map. The closest tunnel is here, so if he can manage against the Stingers, I think he can actually just clear up this whole side of Purple's base. Is it gonna combo MiGs on this? Because this palace is really low. And it's gonna get repaired quick, I feel. I mean, the MiGs are idle. Maybe he's waiting for the outpost to push into this. It's even an empty palace because you can box select it, so... The fact the palace is still alive and the MiGs are idle is very strange. I mean, he could have at least killed this tunnel to then maybe move the outpost to finish it, but... Yeah, the MiGs and the Helix are doing nothing. Yeah, this is just poor management of micromanagement from Nexus. He just cornered himself and he's losing all his units to AP quads and Jarman. MiGs are finally coming, but it's way too late. I mean, he's gonna kill 2 quads and he failed his artillery on the palace. The artillery on the palace would have been massive because he delays market production as well, which then he can actually think about potentially out-ecoing for a little bit. And yeah, his reinforcements are also really late. He's piling them in his base, but I think at this point he should just rally them here. I think that's an EMP. No, that's a mine drop. Yeah, these Lixes have been pretty useless so far. I think honestly he should have just committed. Because it's not going to get any easier against Tox in the late game. It's just going to get progressively worse, and he doesn't even have Anthrax Gamma. So these Stingers are not even fully upgraded. These are like the weakest form of these Stingers. Lotus will sneak 1 market, and yeah, there's a Scud Storm that's coming up. And I think at this rate, the game's kind of at a lull. I don't really think anything's gonna happen for a while because... Oh, Lotus gets killed by Jarman in a bus, but... Yeah, but 2 Jarman. MiGs try to go for something. They don't have MiG armor either, which is a big mistake. Yeah, I have a feeling this game is just gonna get waited out until the Scud Storm, because what does Tox really need to do in this position? Just scud the internet center and you win. Okay, we're gonna see another inf push maybe? I'm hoping. I heard a Tox ambush. They killed a couple hackers. That's pretty massive. He still doesn't have Anthrax Gamma for some reason. I do not know why, but he does not have it. Carpets on the center of the base. Damage chips a little bit at everything, doesn't really kill anything. Takes a market to the hole. There's 2 Infernos. He snipes 1 outpost. 1 outpost gets cracked by the Stinger. There's no ECM guarding either of these APCs. Outpost gets cracked, Assault Troop Crawler gets cracked. Last outpost is not gonna get cracked because RPGs died in the bus. They probably were not healed from their last bus. MiGs, 3 MiGs get taken out. There's a Helix that comes in. There's 2 Lixes. I don't know how many quads he has. I'm gonna say 0. But the Stingers are putting in the work against these Helixes. And I don't know why he's not committing. He just killed the arms dealers. You know there's 1 Stinger here. And there's maybe 1 Stinger here that's attacking you. If he just went here, he could have just killed the Scud and suicided the Lix. He could have emptied this Lix and just went in with the other licks. Yeah, I don't know why Nexus didn't do that. He could have just killed the Scud. Yeah, I think that was just not great decision making in all honesty. He could have very easily just gone in. One stinger is not enough to phase away two helixes like that. You just shift to the right, to the left a little bit as well. Especially because he just killed the arm stealers. I mean, now it's definitely unwinnable, because now there's a million stingers. And now he for sure can't go in with elixes. I think that was his one shot. He had to take that. I don't know why he's playing a long game against Tox as Inf. It's not like he's miles ahead. He's actually behind economically. Yeah, that was just a bad decision. I think now he definitely loses. I 100% don't see a way he wins. Mark it to the hole and one gets taken out fully by an artillery, which is nice, but I mean, I think this is just gonna come down to Mr. Zero Hour 2021 waiting till the Scud cooldown. He's gonna push again, but now there's defenses again. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah, he's gonna trade poorly with the MiGs now because there's a million stingers that are gonna hit them as well. Yeah, he's got the outpost and the Inferno, but I think there's an ambush again that is about to hit this army. And he still doesn't have Anthrax Gamma, actually. There's the carpet again. I'm gonna guess that's an EMP or a mine truck. EMP on the stingers. Okay, there's a quad pop here. I think what he should do now is go to this side, because he's disabled two stingers with the helixes. He even MiG'd the quads, and he's killed 5 quads. I think now he should just go in with the elixes. I think this is the worst position you can go in with the elixes. Yeah, just go left. He doesn't need to, yeah, there you go. Yeah, he took way too long to do that. Now the stingers are up again. And yeah, now it's the same situation, but there's 3 stinger sites. And these aren't even full elixes. These have 5 infantry. And he's AFK'd one of the elixes right above his infantry too. I mean, it was literally the same thing as the last push, except there's more stingers now. So this was just a worse push. If he could have just done it earlier instead. He's killing the palace now, but I mean, who cares if this dies? He has money all the way here, and he's got a Scud Storm that's gonna fire in 60 seconds. Yeah, like, this game is 100% lost. There's no way Tox loses now, because he just needs to Scud this. He'll get a ton of XP. He'll be rank 5 to sneak attack. He anthraxes wherever he thinks there's hackers. He sneaks in his base, and it's GG. And Inf just uses general powers as well, so he can't defend with anything except Mine Truck. Yeah, this is GG for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think he should have just done the full committed licks push earlier. He did it later and there was more defenses because Tox was economically ahead, so he just had more time to reinforce with more defenses. And we already know this is probably going to be on the internet center. Yeah, this internet center is dead. Yep, bye-bye internet center. Bye-bye hackers. He's rank 5. He's gonna anthrax bomb either here or he's gonna anthrax bomb on the side, and then there's a sneak attack. Or he just anthrax bombs this. That's also an alternative. He's actually right next to the CC too, so he could just lose his entire army right here. Yep, that's exactly what's gonna happen. And Anthrax Bomb is Anthrax Gamma no matter what, even without the upgrades, so... Yeah, he lost his entire army. He lost his internet center. Carpet's coming. Maybe he's gonna combo that with artillery on the Scud Storm. But, yeah. There's one outpost here, but... who really cares about the outpost? Yeah, outpost gets popped open. There's two here. Two outposts losing to the Stinger site. And it's like a matter of time until this game is over. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because... I mean, this is literally just waiting on general powers at this point. There's a mine drop, I'm assuming, over here. I mean, yeah, this is just waiting for a Scud Storm. We're not really missing out on action. He's taking garrisons. Outpost moves forward. There's an ambush on a couple hackers. Procs the MiGs as well. Sneak attack on the airfield. All the MiGs are landed. He's gonna pop on the airfield, kill all the MiGs while landed. Kill the prop. That's an EMP. He might have a mine drop, carpet as well. He does. He needs to move his quads quick. He's moving the wrong direction. Lost this whole sneak, but I still think it's worth it because he killed the prop. He killed a couple hackers. He killed the airfield. This is just delaying the inevitable at this point for the Inf. Like, Inf cannot win in this position. He will just get chipped at slowly over time by the Scud Storm until he has nothing. He's moved hackers next to a Tox tunnel. Scud Storm's gonna fire on the War Factor and supply. There's a Tox tractor made by Tox. That's very rare to see. Bunch of trucks go down. Also, if you're in the late game and there's no money on the map left, you should either use the trucks for vision, or if you're not going to use them for vision, just kill the trucks against the GLA so you don't give them cash bounty like this randomly. Worker gets moved to clear mines. Outposts struggle to clear Anthrax Beta. The 34-minute Scud Launcher appears. I don't know why it just came now. Maybe it's because he had Tox Ambush 2 and Bounty 1. So he didn't invest in Tox Scud Launchers, but he didn't really need them anyways, I guess, ultimately. He's artillerying a war factory. The Scud Launchers are firing and missing hits. There's a giant quad pop. I mean, we both know this, that there is zero chance Inf will be able to muscle through this much Tox defense, so that's why I'm fast forwarding, guys. Like, I'm sorry to say that, like, I just do not see a way that he wins. Tox ambush on a hacker. I think the scan ended. He's spreading out the hackers. It's good. It's a good hustle from Nexus, but this is just not gonna work out in the end. Tox is just too built up at this stage. And he doesn't have enough firepower to break through. Anthrax Bomb on the production. It's gonna kill the dozers and maybe the Inferno. Tox Scud Launchers are getting Scud popped. It's a mine drop, I think, on the forward tunnel. Scud Storm again. Nice hit on the thing, on the outpost. Carpet on a tunnel. Where's the Scuds going? On the prop again. He might kill 2 hackers as collateral damage. Actually kills 3 hackers and an Inferno. And yeah, Nexus calls it GG. I mean, I don't think fast forwarding there was a bad thing. The outcome was kind of decided 15-ish minutes ago. And it was just literally waiting for Scud Storms to fire. So I don't think there's much to it. Okay. So there's one more replay, which is a GLA mirror submitted by me between me and Vivid. Spoiler alert, this was before the 3rd place World Series match. So in some sense this was also like in preparation of the 3rd place matches, you could consider. This was actually part of a separate set that I played with Vivid. So, yeah, I'm seeing the comments about that replay. Yeah. I'm not sure how to exactly approach this because I'm the one playing in it, but I don't mind criticizing myself a little bit. I think Vivid played phenomenally in this replay in particular, and you'll see why very shortly. So, it's me in the Cyan as regular GLA against Vivid as the Stealth GLA on Oil Rampage. Historically, I have a very bad win rate against Vivid when it comes to GLA mirrors on Oil Rampage. And we're gonna see if that changes or whether that continues. So, if I recall correctly, I went for a pretty greedy opener. I think this was a fake arms dealer as well. I might be wrong. Yeah, this was a fake arms dealer. I went for a tunnel here. I was planning for a tunnel here. And I think a tunnel here or a tunnel here. Or maybe it was here. We're gonna find out shortly. So one of my barracks is going for a capture upgrade. The other one's building rebels. Just to save up time in terms of researching the upgrade while also making the most rebels. Vivid's kind of doing the same thing. I like what Vivid's doing. He's making tunnels near these bunkers because it's very common to steal these bunkers in GLA mirrors. And it's often game winning sometimes if you can steal it without really getting punished. So he's just bunkering up both of these with tunnel. I see he's building a worker here, and I think my first instinct is to either demo trap this or use a tech to kill it. I might be using this tech. Yeah, I use this tech to kill this worker. Where am I from? I'm from Egypt. Vivid's going for worker crushes while I deny this tunnel. I built a tunnel over here on the soil. Vivid's able to see my rebels because I'm GLA vanilla and he's stealth, so I can't really crush his workers as easily. So I'm focused on intercepting this tech mainly for the time being. I get this tunnel up here and I'm building up a tunnel here while this tunnel is denied. Although I am concerned if Vivid's going to try and rebuild this because I saw this tunnel build for quite a bit of time, so I'm expecting him to at some point bring a tech RPG with a worker to try and rebuild that tunnel. I build another tunnel here to try and pressure. I also drop off some RPGs to try and start gunning down the soil. And as I said, Vivid's actually brought a 3 technicals to fortify this position. I brought one because I thought it was only going to be one tech RPG, but Vivid had some pretty good foresight, since most people would typically do that to defend this spot with one tech. He actually brought 3 techs to kill that one tech, and he's actually going to build this tunnel up. And I actually still have not gotten these oils yet because these techs have been running around intercepting constantly. And because this tunnel is now up, Vivid can actually pop his army here and start threatening my 3rd supply. In the meantime, Vivid has his 3rd supply position already secured. Vivid's actually got a hijacker around in the case I go for a Scorpion, which is a smart move. He's parked a tech here to look for any rebels that are capturing. And yeah, I'm pretty far behind economically because Vivid's on 10% palace, even though my palace is earlier and I'm on triple arms dealer soon enough with Scorpion spam against stealth. He's delaying me from getting my 3rd supply, which is pretty important because that will let him eco boom much faster. And keep in mind, I don't have this refinery in oil. He's stolen a Scorpion from me. I was actually control grouping this army and it selected this Scorpion as well, so I was confused why it was attacking my army. And then I realized it was a hijacked Scorpion. Yeah, Vivid's gonna already gun down 1 oil. He's gonna gun down a 2nd oil. I gunned down 1 oil and I actually killed this oil as well, so I'm actually equal on oils, but Vivid's gonna be very annoying with this tech here and kill a lot of my workers. And because this is boxed from one side, it's gonna take a while to clear up this tech because I'm focused over here. I still have a pretty good presence in the middle with my tunnels, but the problem is that I have to defend my base in order to secure this position. I'm finally getting my oil, so in terms of oils, I'm actually equal, but bear in mind I actually have 0 supplies, and Vivid also cancelled this scaffold of a black market there. So I'm actually not collecting at all right now. And Vivid's actually sending TNTs to these oils while he's harassing me with this tech in the base and fighting over here. So Vivid's doing a really good job in terms of shutting down my income. I'm transitioning to buggies here because I'm thinking if I get a couple of buggies early and I start snowballing with a Scorp push on one side, I can potentially push him very deep into his base. So I lead with my quads and scorpions, and I push with buggies as well. And Vivid sends another tech. And he's gonna go for a TNT. I think he's gonna fail the TNT, but he kills the bunker, which is still pretty important. Oh, he doesn't kill the bunker, but I think I've lost 3 oils. Vivid has lost 2 oils. So economically, I'm actually still far behind. And Vivid's transitioned to buggies as well. He's got a 40% scud, and I do not even have a scud storm yet. And my push kind of fails on this right side, which is pretty significant. I pop a bus here to try and counterattack this push over here. I trade a couple of these quads. I kill basically all the quads and a buggy, but overall I'm still pretty far behind because Vivid's an oil ahead, he's a scud storm ahead. I'm dropping 2 scaffolds now. Vivid's prepared another TNT. I was pretty lackluster this game, I'd say, in terms of TNTs. I don't think I really went for any aggressive TNTs because I was pretty focused on playing defense for the majority of it. So Vivid's kind of been the one setting the tempo. Vivid's just sending a couple of his spare rebels as sort of scouts. I send a bus because I saw this worker building a tunnel, but he finished the tunnel in time, so I just killed it for 100 XP and back away. I beacon this scud as A. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm behind on scud storms, I can likely equalize it by playing into saboteurs and hopefully getting a good sabotage on the scud. I try to send a quad to pick off a buggy randomly while he unloads his payload. Does not work, unfortunately. I clear up this tunnel on the right side with buggies, and right now we're just cleaning up the tunnels in the middle. But bear in mind, he is stealth and I am vanilla GLA, so I don't get GPS until 5-star. All his tunnels are cabineted by default as well, so it's much tougher for me to push into his base than it is for me. And I think it's very important to bear that fact in mind. I prep up a TNT. I think I'm aiming for either this oil or this oil. I think it's likely this oil. I go for a flanking bus to try and clear up a couple buggies. I actually have a pretty significant amount of buggies, but he goes for a very clever play and kills my last 2 tunnels here with TNT, which kind of frees up some space to take over the map as well for him. I try to force fire the Jarman, but I unfortunately have this technical AFK. I could have killed this oil if I was microing it, but I was microing over here and I forgot about microing this tech. I see he tries to spam some tunnels around these tunnels while they're rebuilding slower, so I use my buggies to try and kill the workers quick while I have the opportunity to do so. I also have the Scorpion here to zone away buggies from the middle. I'm just trying to wait on my tunnels to rebuild, but he does snipe the workers building them, so I can't really wait for the tunnels, unfortunately. Which makes for these very cagey engagements against the quads. So now it's 2 scuds against 2 scuds. He's building a 3rd scud. And I am building 2 more scuds. I'm gonna actually be on a 3rd scud earlier than... or actually, about the same time as him. So in this position, yeah, there's my Saboteur. I'm gonna try and sabotage A, I think, here, because that's the earliest scud. I'm gonna try and go from behind this supply dock, because if there is a chance you're able to sneak past this, Vivid hasn't set up a full stealth detection network yet. I see he has a van here, but no tunnel or quad, so I get the reset, which is pretty important in Scud Wars. It makes a huge difference if you're able to fire the first Scud. So I was pretty happy about that. So that means I will actually fire 2 Scuds before Vivid fires his first Scud. Which gives me a lot of options in terms of what I can go for. So I actually forget what I go for here, but I can explain why I go for something if I see it in the game. Yeah, I'm just Scud spamming at this point because I think the way I'm gonna get money is just by killing his stuff with Scuds anyways, so I may as well just invest into Scuds and army for the most part. Vivid's worried about me having control of this side of the middle still, so he's just gonna clear it up with a tech and a TNT. But I think he doesn't even bother with it because he just clears it with the army. TNT gets burst open. Terrorists are flailing forward, but they don't really do much. I think I pick a couple with German. I can kill a few of these RPGs with my buggies. Jarman gets vet 1. Buggy gets sniped over there. I move the Jarman and try to juke out the buggy rockets and retreat to the tunnel. He loses 2 buggies here. And I have my second Saboteur bike. No, that's Vivid's Saboteur bike. And I actually hear this bike as well. And I scan over here to see where it's going. And I realize it's going here. I prepare the Jarman to try and Jarman snipe it. And I actually get the vehicle snipe on the bike itself. And bikes actually give quite a bit of XP if you kill the bike itself, not the Saboteur specifically. So I was pretty happy to get that. I prepare a couple more bikes. I have a suspicion that Vivid will also prepare more bikes, so I start scattering around radar vans, and it's also helpful against stealth for the radar scan ability. So Vivid's crawling forward with tunnels. I'm trying to push him back with these buggies and take the better engages. He has a Saboteur bike in position. He's gonna try for a Scud reset. My Jarman is forward. I send out my 2 Saboteur bikes. I'm gonna try and follow both of these based on the minimap. So he's gonna try and go for one of the Scuds here. He might be able to get it. This bike is gonna try and go for C or B, I think. He gets a reset on one of the later Scuds. I get a Oh no, I actually find that he has no detection here, so I wait a little bit there. And I fire my first Scud.
Be careful.
And I decide to fire it on the palace actually, I think here. Because I was thinking, because I'm close to 5-star soon, and I'm 4-star, I can potentially set up for a massive push. So I just reset his palace entirely as the first move. And I think the second thing I do is I go for a oil. Let's see. Oh, I go for his production. I go for the oil and production. So since his arms dealer is next to an oil, I try to get both of them. So I just try to take as much as I can. He's attacking at the same time while I'm using the Scuds. He's also sending a Saboteur bike forward. Oil and arms dealer goes down. Saboteur bike gets intercepted, and his push gets a little butchered here. So I'm able to hold on for a little longer. I'm camo netting a couple of my tunnels so that way I can actually make it a little more difficult for him to push. And right now I'm thinking to myself, I'm in a pretty good position because I have a Saboteur in position for one of his later Scuds. And I'm pretty close to 5-star, so I might be able to potentially turn this around. He gets a very good hit on the palace. He kills a lot of my RPGs and downs a bus alongside the palace, so I'm cut off from spamming scuds and buggies as well. My saboteur is still in position, and I have a radar scan always ready in case this gets detected. Just instantly sabotage one of the scuds to just make use of it. Just a bit of defensive play against the tunnel creep over here. And he's actually sold his last supply, so he's building a new supply just so he can spam arms dealers. We both have scuds ready. Vivid's gonna have 2 scuds. I reset this scud because I just wanted to chip at it a little bit. I think I also saw that this scud was damaged, so no, I don't go for it here, but I go for this oil as well as this arms dealer. I don't know what Vivid goes for. He goes for this oil, and he actually is gonna reset my palace as a result of that again, which is pretty massive. And what's also very annoying is that Vivid's palace is actually cabineted here, so I actually don't know where his palace is. So he resetted my palace twice, and I've only resetted it once. I have 5 stars, so I GPS my army. And I'm floating 12k because I have a palace that's not built yet. So I want to save this money for scuds and buggies, because I don't think it'll be that useful to invest into pure quads at this stage. I think a lot of people would say, oh, you're floating 15k, why are you not spending it? I am spending it. Like, I am still building units, but I'm building one at a time. I'm saving most of that money for scud storms. He intercepts my Anthrax, which I was very surprised about. And he actually intercepts the sneak attack as well. So that was 2 pretty major mistakes. I should have probably Anthraxed the middle, expecting more tunnels from him. And, I mean, the sneak attack, it's not much I can really do on that front. But yeah, I think I just placed my Anthrax pretty poorly. I could have probably placed it in the middle, but I think I was thinking about pushing into his base at this point, so I didn't want to stop my own push if I had to push through the middle, which is why I didn't Anthrax the middle. He pops here. He has a pretty good quad pop as well. His buggies are also defending quite well. At the moment, it's 5 scuds against 5 scuds, but bear in mind, I do not have a palace still, and I'm waiting to build my palace again so I can spend my money on more scud storms. Because just spending money on scorpions and quads at this stage is pretty useless. Especially since my sneak is on cooldown and I can just kite it with buggies. I'm actually building 2 palaces simultaneously to try and make sure I don't get palace locked again. And the big benefit here of not getting palace locked is he can also expand to markets. So while Vivid has this palace and while I'm still rebuilding my palace, I can't make any markets, I can't make any scud storms. So he's going to be spamming markets, he's going to be spamming scuds behind it. He's not making any new scuds at the moment, but he is making a ton of markets, as you can see. And yeah, it does make a pretty big difference in terms of having your palace versus not having it. It's a Jarman snipe. I fired 2 scuds. I think I fire on the left scuds over here, but I might be wrong. Let me just check. Yes, I do, because I remembered they were next to each other when I scanned earlier. So I try to just go for 2 in the head over here. I kills 2 scuds and an oil for 2 of my own scud storms. At this point, I thought I was actually winning because I didn't realize Vivid had this many cabineted markets. And I didn't see all these markets everywhere. I fire another 2 scuds. I fire a scud here, and I fire a scud at the markets here. I had no clue about the markets or where his palace was. So for the most part, I was feeling pretty good at this stage. So yeah, I killed these 2. He's pushing into my base as well, so I have to be careful. The Anthrax bombs here. I don't have the toxin shells yet, so he actually wipes my buggy army here. Which is a pretty big mistake that I don't have toxin shells at that stage. I actually didn't kill either of these oils, which upset me a lot here. So then I decided to go for a sneak attack to finish these off. Yep, I popped my Scorps. And I finish off the oils, which I think was pretty worth it. And I also knew he didn't have that many tunnels here, so I decided to try and potentially kill a scud here. I was worried if he was scudding on my sneak attack. He was scudding my base, but in my head I was thinking He might have tried to scud my army, but when I didn't see the scud missiles immediately, I realized he didn't focus on it. I actually didn't kill the scud as well because I was complacent about the scud hitting my own army. But in reality, I should have probably committed because he would have killed his own army anyways. He hits a arms dealer and takes my palace significantly low. But I do have 2 palaces at this stage, so I'm not that worried. I make a couple more saboteurs because I'm planning to sabotage more of his scuds. I fire another scud storm. I try to finish the scud off. I don't know if I finish it off. I'm actually not sure. I don't think I do. Not at this HP. I take it to the hole. No, I actually finish it. Okay. I was actually thinking it wouldn't finish it off. He finishes off this palace here, but this is why I made the second palace. For this exact reason. I have a ton of money here, but the problem is I have no arms dealers, so I'm just trying to make arms dealers so I can make buggies again. Which is why I'm floating. I think a lot of players will see my float and wonder, why are you floating so much? But it's because I don't have any production of it. So if you don't have production, you don't have a way to spend money. And if you don't have a way to spend money, then you're just gonna have a ton of money accumulate as a result. So at this point, it's 6 scuds versus 2, but bear in mind Vivid has a load of black markets scattered around the map. And he's actually playing on the offense because he realizes if he's waiting a bit on his on these scuds, he will just get wiped out from the game. So he's playing it aggressive. And it is good timing because he did reset my arms dealers quite a few times in a row. So I actually don't have a lot of army. I think I have maybe 2 buggies at this stage in the tunnel. Yeah, only 2 buggies, so I actually don't have a lot of army left over. I try to anthrax bomb his army here, but he moves his buggies pretty fast. And I don't get any units as a result. I kill 1 buggy, but he's gonna kill 2 scuds here for free. Yeah, I only have Scorps to retaliate because buggies in close quarters like this would absolutely fail, so I'm forced to make Scorpions. I sell this scud because I know this scud is definitely lost. I do get the sell off, which is nice. And yeah, behind this, Vivid is rebuilding, so this is where Vivid going for markets was a smart play. So while he's playing super aggressive in my base, pressuring me and killing my stuff and cornering me, he's able to essentially rebuild his infrastructure, rebuild his markets, and make more scuds again. So what was before a 6-2 lead in scud storms is dwindling very quickly. Because bear in mind, I'm also losing ground while he's also gaining ground. So it's like a double loss in a way. I decided to actually scud his army here because I was a bit worried that he was pushing too far into my base, and I thought he was actually investing fully into army. And I didn't have vision of these markets, so I figured if I killed the army and I just keep the army at bay, I can just finish him off with scud storms. Problem was that I didn't realize how many markets he had. So I fire another scud. I actually don't know where I fire. I think I fire 2 here. I try to kill a scud as well as a couple markets, as well as the scud scaffold. I see the palaces here, I think, but I don't know if I remember that. I don't think I remember that, but I'll see as the replay progresses. This is a very awkward defensive angle for me because I have to go through here for the buggies and the quads can easily just kill it, so I sell the scud because I know this scud is kind of a lost cause. Vivid actually has a scud very soon, and Vivid's scud is a lot more deadlier than mine because my base is very cramped up at this stage, so the fact that he is able to just scud me once and kill half my base is very scary. He could even kill 2 of my arms dealers, or he could kill my palace. He has a lot of very easy targets here, whereas Vivid's base at this point is very spread out. He also has GPS buggies, so my buggy engagements are not going to be as easy as they were before. I think he goes for the 2 arms healers. No, he goes for the palace. And it's a smart call because he's also going to hit the command center. I was very worried that he was going to scud my palace as well, so I go back in the tunnel, even though I saw this aggressive tunnel. Because I knew if I lost this army here, it would have been game over instantly. I have toxin shells, so this time I do instant force fire to clear it. I have another Scud Storm fire, and I think it's again on the army, but Vivid has very good foresight this time. I hit the sneak attack, and all I'm focused on at this point is surviving against his army. Because if I keep my Scud count high and his army count low, I should be able to sort of draw out the game and just kind of win by recovering with Scud Storm bounty money. But my buggy count is also very low at this stage in comparison to his. Like most of my units, I think, in the tunnel are Scorpions. And Vivid's actually going to be able to finish off this Scud potentially with his buggies, but I do a counter pop over here. And yeah, the Scud that was very low actually manages the fire. I don't know if this is on the army. I think it was on the palace. Yeah, so I do remember that there was a palace over here. And I hit the palace. And I take it down. So that's going to delay buggies for quite a bit, which buys me plenty of time. It also delays his Scud Storm building, and it also delays his market production. So the palace is pretty important to kill. I send a Scorpion to scout out where the GPS buggies are, as well as the tunnels. Sacrifice it for a tunnel kill. And yeah, now Vivid's in a really good strong grip position here. So he's about to camp my production. My Scuds are very unprotected. My buggies can only pop from a very, very awkward angle. And I'm actually going to get punished very hard here as a result. So Vivid actually puts a very aggressive sneak attack to block my buggy fire, as well as let his buggies attack, which is very smart. And Vivid's focused on the production, which is the perfect move here, because if you keep your opponent's unit count low in these late game situations, then you can just have more production buildings and just have more units as a result. So I've lost my 2 arms healers, so now I'm reduced from 3 to 1. I lost my palace, so I have to rebuild it. But bear in mind, I have 10k again, but I don't have a lot of production and I don't have a palace. So I don't have an effective way of spending that money. So could you argue just spamming Scorps is the way to go? That's actually what I'm doing as well, because I have 1 arms healer, so I'm not really able to spend my money elsewhere, but I queue my units 1 at a time. So obviously I have a lot of money left over from these oils and from bounty kills. So it looks like I'm floating like a noob, but I am actually spending my money. The issue is I don't have an effective way to make buggies right now because I don't have a palace. And because Vivid's Scud is actually very closely timed with when my palace completes, this becomes a massive problem. So I have 2 Scud Storms ready again, and I'm thinking in my head, okay, I need to use at least one of these Scuds on the army likely. But I think I actually decide to hit his production here. Do I? Yeah, I think I hit his production and I hit some markets. And I think my rationale was I still was under the impression he did not have a lot of money. So I kill a couple markets. And I kill an arms dealer. And I see Vivid makes a new Scud Storm, and I'm very worried about this because I realize Vivid's actually not broke. Because I thought I killed every oil, as you can see here. And I thought his markets left over were only here. So I have another Scud still ready to fire in 50 seconds. So my game plan here is I just need to hold a little bit, stall this army for a little bit, have a Scud Storm ready, and then I can threaten it again. Because as long as I have 1 Scud Storm, Vivid has to be very careful about how he engages this army. So Vivid actually has a Scud as well, and if I am in Vivid's position, I hit either the production or the palace, and I think that's what he does again. Yeah, he hits this, which is a very good target. I Anthrax Bomb here to try and take out the buggies, but Vivid moves north very quickly. And while he's killing this arms dealer, he's locking down the other one with Scud Storm. Now I actually anticipated this, so I think most of my units are still in the tunnel. And I pop a sneak attack here, because this was actually the safest place to sneak attack to defend, because all the other places are filled with Anthrax. I have a Scud Storm ready to fire again, and I think it's this Scud as well that's gonna die that's ready. Yeah, it was. I honestly should have fired it, but I think I was very much panicking at this point because I needed to kill this army quick. But I probably would have just panic fired a Scud Storm at like an arms dealer or something. Yeah, that was a major mistake that I didn't fire that Scud. I got a Scud ready to fire and Vivid's pressuring. I think I might Scud this position, but I'm not sure. Vivid takes a buggy that was decrewed. Scorpion kills 2 buggies. Let's see where I fire that Scud. And it is this Scud Storm. And does it fire on the army? It does fire on the army. Do I get it? I kill 4 buggies, which is pretty significant. I missed the Anthrax intercept, unfortunately, but I have a Scorpion in tunnel to clear up the toxin, I believe. At the moment, it's still 3 Scuds against 2, but the advantage is dwindling away. He gets a very sneaky tunnel on these arms dealers that I try to build here. So my production is once again camped, and I'm on 0 production actually. I have 2 Vet 2 Scorpions and 3 buggies that are GPS left as my only army left. And I use the Scorpions here to engage. And I think I barely win this engagement as well. But Vivid pops another wave of buggies as well. So I'm gonna lose this Scorpion potentially. No, the Scorpion barely misses the scan, so it survives. It's Vet 3 now too, with double scrap, so that Scorpion is very valuable as like a GPS buggy killer if I just put it out forward. Start using the buggies to clear up a couple more tunnels. Vivid uses another wave of GPS and it goes through the middle. Snipes a Scorpion. My GPS Vet 3 Scorpion is looking for buggies to snipe, and I see there's a couple buggies here. So I kill 3 buggies with this 1 Scorpion, which is extremely valuable at this stage. Well, bear in mind, behind all of this, Vivid has 7, 8, 9 markets, and a palace, and 2 Scuds. I have 3 Scuds. But I have these 2 oils as well. So the game is actually very close. But the issue is that he has a lot of stealth buildings, so I can't really see what's going on. I fire 2 Scuds. I think I use it to finish off this Scud over here before it fires.
A warrior has fallen.
Ready to sting.
Yep, I deny that Scud from firing, and he's gonna have 1 Scud still to fire, but it's much better than having to deal with 2 Scuds. Because keep in mind, I'm still under the impression he does not have a lot of money. And if I look at the income, I don't think he has a lot. Like, he has 9 markets or something, right? And he's actually making more markets in the middle even. And this was very smart because nobody's expecting economy right in the dead center at this stage. So even though I still have a Scud lead this entire game, I actually am economically getting further and further behind. Vivid fires a Scud, and it's going to be on the palace. And I think this is the point in the game where I start realizing that I might have lost, because he's going to lock down my arm sealer again. He killed my palace, and he's going to be able to take out 2 Scuds. I pop the sneak attack again from the right corner. Save my arms leader for the time being, but he has a ton of buggies out, and I am so worried about this massive push. Yeah. I try to trade better against the buggies, but he has superior numbers, so it's just difficult to trade. He gets a good force fire in the Jarman. I try to Anthrax Bomb again, but I think I have landed 0 Anthrax Bombs on his army like every single time. I think I've gone 0 for 3 in Anthrax Bombs. And he's landed 3 for 3 in terms of good Anthrax Bombs. And yeah, I think I realize Vivid might have a ton of income that I'm not aware of. And it's in the form of these GPS markets. But I play it out because I do think it is very much possible to win with the superior Scud count. So where does this go? I actually don't know where this Scud goes. It goes on more markets. Okay. So I guess I'm just trying to stay on top of the markets here. I have a ton of Scorpions because I'm building units while I'm waiting for the palace to go up. So I use these Scorpions as a way to buffer out the buggies. If the buggies begin to fire, then I'll be able to sort of ambush them with the Scorpion. Yeah, and he's building this line of tunnels that is very difficult to deal with. He's actually built a forward barracks, and I think what he was intending to do at one point was send out angry mob waves. I actually built a couple saboteurs as well. I think I built one because I know he has 1 Scud left, and I think I remembered where it was. It was on this side of the map. But we'll see if I actually remember where to scan. Yeah, so I got my saboteur. I'm not sure if I send it out or if I just keep it in the tunnel for the time being. I build a couple terrorists just to try and phase away the buggies. Saboteur does get stuck, and it does unfortunately get intercepted. I think I did actually remember where to go as well, so it is very unfortunate that that Saboteur wasn't able to get through, because buying another couple of minutes would have been pretty helpful against this amount of pressure at this stage. And I think, yeah, Vivid's a bit too big for me to handle at this point. He's just got too many markets, and they're all too spread out. So, yeah, my arms either get shut down again, I'm on 0 production, and my base space, as you can see, is running very, very thin. And he's got 9 buggies here. I tried to go for a last-ditch effort. I'm not sure if I quit here, but I start thinking this is looking very over. I'm gonna try one last hurrah with the Scuds maybe. But I see how much damage he's dealing to these Scuds, and I'm realizing all 3 Scuds are here anyway, so I think I go for a Hail Mary Scud Storm again. Do I predict the movement? I think I actually do, and I try to predict him moving back here, but he moves all the way back down, which is good foresight from Vivid, because that is the only way he can honestly lose, which is if his army gets reset.
I am finished with the building.
I have a couple Scorpions here, some GPS, some not. And I think at this stage, there's not really much I can do. It is a very uphill battle for me. We'll see where this Scud Storm goes, but yeah, it's looking very, very grim for me, to say the least. Yeah, I fire another Scud. I think I try to bait a tunnel pop with this Scud. I try to do some funny business with the sneak attack as well, but unfortunately he doesn't fall for it. If he fell for it, would I have been in a potential position to win? Maybe, because that was actually most of his army. But it still would have been a very uphill battle. Yeah, Palace gets reset again. Anthrax Bomb as well on top of this. Doesn't kill the Jarman, but no buggy production. I think I queued up 7 buggies in this arms theater before the pilots died. And yeah, I see this building is dying. Sneak attack from Vivid. And I'm pretty sure the game is over at this stage, as you can tell. He's gonna have access to this Scud Storm as well. And I'm basically relegated to this one corner, essentially. That is safe. Yeah, the 6-2 lead on Scud Storms is now a 1-1 equalizer in Scud count. I try to trade with the buggies while he's focused on the CC, but he retargets. And as you can tell, yep, I get defeated. So, yeah, that was a very lengthy GLA mirror. And he actually collected 100,000 more than me as well, so significantly higher income than me, despite a pretty grim Scud count in the mid game. So I'm not sure if I would classify that as a gold replay. I think that was a pretty good game because I think that was a good comeback from Vivid. I don't think there were that many mistakes, in all honesty, from both sides. I had a couple minor mistakes, like the TNT mess up and the Scud not getting killed by my first or second sneak attack. So I think I could probably, I mean, I'm gonna sound biased, but I think it might be a potential candidate for silver, which I'd hope so. We'll see if the rest of the team agrees on that one. Thank you for the cast, Marikar. No problem. I'll actually see if there's anyone around for a set. Let me see if I can get some games going to continue. Biggest mistake playing a GLA mirror versus Vivid? I mean, I don't think historically I do really bad against Vivid on GLA mirrors on this map. I think I have a 0% win rate in GLA mirrors on this particular map. I don't think I've ever beat him in a GLA mirror. But in when it comes to like air GLA, I think I have 100% win rates against Vivid. So I think Vivid is very well acquainted with how to play on this one. The matchup on Oil Rampage. But I am also very positive in other matchups against them. But do I think Vivid is overall better than me? Probably. I think Vivid's overall better. I wouldn't say there's a... Yeah, I went 2-0 as, I think Talks Air Force. Yeah. That was the third time we played air GLA of some kind on this map. And I think I am 6-0 in like air GLAs. But he's like 6-0 against me in GLA mirrors on this, so like he's still very much owning me in that regard. I'll wait a couple minutes to see if we have a game going. 'Cause I'm asking a couple of people for a set. So while I am waiting, I am going to pose the question as to how people enjoyed the I'm 50-50 versus Vivid according to Regja. I'm actually surprised by that. I think Vivid's won more games than me than I have against him. I don't know if it's actually 50-50. I think it should be more 60-40 to him. But I could be wrong. I mean, stats are stats. Let me ask on the 0 hour ladder server if we can get any sets going potentially. Let's see. Is Boyka around? So, two questions I'll pose for you guys. Number one, do you think there were any silver replays or gold replays in this casting session? And if so, what do you think you would cast a silver or gold to? And number two, how did you guys enjoy the World Cup final today, if you keep up with football? I will say I was very impressed by how a particular French player played, getting all three goals and basically equalizing with Argentina. The penalties were pretty dicey, I will say that much. Let me actually open the ZHLADDER and see if I can find any games there. Peace Lovers playing Tom Step. I think he's actually doing a expert round robin set with him. It's Mamo Freestyler. Mamo, I think, is watching a 3v3 game on Twilight Flame. It turned out to be an amazing final. Didn't expect that. Usually finals are bad. Yeah, a lot of people were saying in like the first like 10, 15 minutes of the game, like this was hands down the worst World Cup final. And then once once the score equalized between Argentina and France, a lot of people were super hyped about it. Think that's a bit of a loaded question now. I'm not sure if that's the best way to phrase it. Yes, Zero Hours 2021 seems like a great player. I mean, he played well. He played how I would play probably. Minus the only angry mobs composition in like the mid game. I think I think the general idea. Last game was at least the silver, especially with your commentary, and also how would you have scouted it differently? I mean, when you're scouting against stealth, it's you're not really scouting differently. Like you just kind of have to go off of instinct and think where would your opponent place buildings. I think what Vivid did was really smart, which was he's building markets in the middle as well. And I don't really have a reason to expect markets in the middle, so it's kind of a smart place to hide them. And keep in mind the scan is pretty limited. It's limited based on how many radar bands I have, and it's on a 30 or 45-second cooldown. So if I find something, I get it. If not, it's unlucky. Like there isn't much difference in technique. It's either I find something or I don't, and I just do that through like logical deduction in terms of where he could place his buildings. That's what makes stealth very powerful in the late game. Once they start stealthing every building, it's very difficult to know where to hit with your scuds. Let me just check on something very quickly. Give me a few minutes, guys. Okay, see you, nickname. Have a good one. Might actually be able to snipe Dominator for games. I'm wondering if he's around. I've just been informed that Domi might be looking for games in a bit. Thank you for streaming, no problem. I'm gonna be waiting a couple minutes just to see if there's any more games going on. Let me just mute myself very quickly. Alright, I am back. No response from Domi yet. We'll do another call for games in the ZHLADDER server. If I don't find any games soon, I may call it quits, but I am kind of eager to play something, in all honesty. So hopefully I can find someone to play against. Bit surprised Vivid didn't target your oil in a refinery. Do you think the game would have ended earlier if you had so? You kept focusing on your palace? No, I think it made more sense to hit the palace, Kristen. Because if you think about it in context, if I can't make buggies to defend, Vivid can always keep pushing me forward and forward. It doesn't really matter if I have money. Like his focus was to keep pushing me by reducing my army count indirectly. So by reducing my buggy production, I can't really fight his army. If he focuses on economy and tries to trade eco with 6 scuds against 2, he will very easily lose that trade. But he did a very smart move in terms of focusing on production. When you're behind, you shouldn't be focusing on economy. You should be focusing on trading better. And hitting the palace and the arm sealers is the way you trade better in that situation. Sorry, America, I have to sleep. Have a good night. See you. Thank you for tuning into the stream. Okay, looks like we got a game versus Freestyler. Set up a lobby to play him. And just change the map to something more fitting for 1v1s. Yeah, Freestyler's been spamming a little bit as of late. Haven't seen him in a good while. He was around for a tiny bit at the beginning of the World Series, and then he kind of just vanished. But now I think he's playing a bit more actively in the holidays. Thanks for the explanation, no problem. I think Freestyler said he needed a couple minutes. Yeah, just waiting a bit on Freestyler. Hopefully he comes on pretty soon. Don't want to keep you guys waiting. There's Freestyler. Let's see. Might actually try a couple of newer maps. Last time I played Freestyler, I picked mainly more classical maps, just to kind of play in familiar territory with him and I. So this time I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Air Force. It's pretty good. Ooh. Could be a good one actually.
Let's get to work. Yeah, clocked in. Always ready.
I think I will aim for a drop.
Have a job for me? On the job.
Drop is pretty potent against any non-tox GLA.
Want to make some improvements? Up. What's the mission, sir? That one's done. What's the story?
Oh, sign in for this.
Sir?
Right on schedule.
Laying the foundation. Make my own projects.
Got my missile launcher
Clocked
right
in.
here.
Always ready.
Loaded with U.S.
Need a
quality,
delivery.
General.
What's the mission, sir?
Oh, sign in for this.
What's the mission, sir?
I'll get it
Yeah, I
there.
think this is a good position to drop.
What's the mission, sir? Always prepared.
Some
What's
for
the mission,
everyone.
sir?
Let's take this.
I'll get it there.
What's
Special
the mission,
forces
sir?
here. Need a delivery. Oh, sign in for this.
We'll actually deny this.
Upgrade
Want to make some
complete.
improvements? Need a point man? On task. Army's elite. Laying the foundation.
Serving our country. Oh, sign in for
Let's
this.
build.
I got the goods.
Always prepared. Army's elite. Need a point man? Special forces
Ready
here.
for action. Serving our country.
Got my missile launcher right
I'll
here.
fire
Enabling
it.
laser
Army's
sights.
elite. New construction.
Ah, I forgot about that. That's
Unit
not good.
Missile
lost.
launcher right here.
Need a point man?
Oh, sign in for this.
And he's
Ready for
taking that.
action. Clocked in. The building is captured,
Bit
sir.
sloppy.
Got my missile launcher right
What's the
here.
mission, Army's elite. Search and
I
destroy.
need to
The
100%
building
deny
is
that.
captured,
I
sir.
got the goods.
Got my
Otherwise,
missile
I
launcher
actually
right
can
here.
flat out lose the game to that.
I want to blow
Keep
something
it
up.
safe.
Got my
Combat
missile
drone
launcher
Unit
right
lost.
here. Got my missile launcher right
have
here.
their
Got my
building.
missile
I'm gonna
launcher
try and
right
Need a
also
point man? Want to make some improvements?
here. Got my missile
Army's
launcher
elite.
right
Building
here.
capture complete. Rally point confirmed.
Oh, sign in for
Ready
this.
for action.
Got my
Let's
missile
launch
launcher
one.
right here. Letting her
Keep
go.
it safe.
Building is ours.
Oh, sign in for this.
Let's pop some
Heading
tanks.
over. Army's elite.
Got my missile launcher
Need a
right
point
here.
man? Ready for Always
action.
prepared.
He might evac.
Got my missile
No,
launcher
he
right
didn't.
here. Let's
Okay.
pop some tanks.
That's good.
Ready for action.
Serving our country.
Always ready. Always Flashbangs are ready. Need a point man? Always prepared. We'll take it from here. Need a point man?
Got my missile launcher right here.
There are quite a
I
few
wanna blow
units,
something up. Enabling laser sights.
but
Enabling
I'm not
laser sights
worried,
right here.
just because I have a local
Enabling
garrison.
laser sights. Enabling laser sights.
Unit lost.
Let me launch one.
It's annoying he denies that, but
Humvee here. Oh, be
pretty
careful now.
okay.
Bug it up. Let's go. Oh, be
Got
careful
my missile
now.
launcher
Oh,
right
yeah.
here.
Army's elite. Need a point man?
Got my missile launcher
Laying the
right here.
foundation. What's the mission, sir? What's the mission, sir? Bug it up. What's the mission, sir? Come on in. The building is captured, sir. Humvee here.
Need a delivery, General?
Yeah. On the job.
Strat.
I'll fire it. Right here.
Always prepared. Need a point man? Taking new position.
Yeah. Got my
Army's
missile
elite.
launcher
How
right
about a
here.
lift? Come on.
I mean, we don't really have to worry about a lot at this point. We just need to hold.
Come on. Chew on me. Oh yeah.
He's going for TTs.
Come on in. Rip it
annoying.
up. Got room for
Special forces here.
Come on in.
He'll get
Oh
one.
yeah.
Always prepared. Providing fire support.
Upgrade
Go for it.
complete.
Let's build.
How about a lift? Break it loose. Got room for fire. Come on in. Keep the change. Let's go. Let's go for it.
Unit lost.
Oh, be careful.
Army's elite.
Humvee here. Whoa. Let's go.
Lucky me.
How about a lift? Let's go. Let's go for it. It should be fun. Oh yeah. Let's go. I got the goods.
Finished. Have a job for me. Good air.
Start
Unit
building
lost.
Plug it up.
another one of these. Actually, that's
Special
still. I
forces
didn't
here.
realize
Here.
it.
Let's go.
Nice.
Always prepared.
Our building
Come
is
on
being
in.
captured.
Oh yeah.
Let's pop some
I'm
tanks.
gonna have a pretty big
Army's
push
elite.
soon.
More
So.
projects. Search and bring on the scaffolding.
Humvee here. Got room for fire. Be careful now.
Any TT on the side? Not yet. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just go for the.
How about a lift? Oh, be careful now. Whoa! Rip it up!
They've taken one of our buildings.
Come on in.
Unit
Break it
lost.
loose. It should be fun. Let's go.
Projects.
Let's go for it. Oh, be careful now. Let's go.
Battlefield
Oh,
is
yeah.
a messy place.
Let's go for it. Buck it up. Come on. Oh, keep the change. You want some of that? Upgrading the new supply line.
Finished.
Like a couple of King Raptors.
Keep the change. You want some of this? Let's go.
Need a point man.
Looks like a
Guard
good
mode
run.
that in case
You want
of
some of this?
a sneaky TNT.
How about a lift for five? Let's go. Chew on these. Rip it up.
There might be a demo trap on this flank, so we need to be a little
Buck it up.
careful.
Humvee here.
King Raptor.
How about a lift?
Raptor here. Roger that. We'll take
We're
it.
also
on
gonna
in.
prep up some
Let's
King
go.
Raptors.
Humvee here. Chew on these. Looks like
Upgrade
a good run.
complete.
Keep the change.
Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
Let's go for it. You want some of this? Looks like a good run.
Unit lost.
There's the
Oh,
demo
be careful
upgrade.
now.
King Raptor here.
Let's go for it. Let's go.
Well, I might lose a couple of these. Yeah.
Oh, be careful now. Let's go.
Our laser should keep him off.
You want some of that? Let's go.
Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
Let's go for it. Let's go. Check out our new stuff.
Unit
Let's
lost.
go. Oh, be careful now.
Ready for takeoff.
That
It's
one's
2
done.
oils.
Battle lift. Humvee here.
Always
Try and
ready.
make it a third.
Laying the foundation.
I need to worry about Jarman.
Always prepared.
How about a lift? Come on in.
Army's elite. Special forces here.
Come on in.
Medical supplies on
Be
hand.
careful now.
here.
Humvee here. How about a lift?
Any more projects?
Got my missile laser defense is ready.
Yeah.
Looks like a
Got my
good
missile
run.
launcher right here. Flying
How
high.
about a lift? Oh yeah. Let's go for it. Chew on these.
Unit lost.
Come on.
It's quite a few of these
Break it
actually.
Laser defense is ready. Raptor here. Control the skies. Got you
Got room
covered.
for five. Let's go.
The new drone armor has been
Come on
installed.
in. Break it loose. It should be fun. Whoa.
Upgrade
Oh, be
complete.
careful now.
Keeping it cool.
No more supplies from this source. How about a lift? Humvee here.
What's the story? On the
Unit
job.
lost.
How about a lift?
Aerial defense countermeasures.
Congratulations,
Humvee here.
General. You have been
Oh
promoted.
yeah.
Here. Got my missile launcher right here.
That one.
Come on in. Break it loose.
Let's build.
Got my missile launcher right here.
No power.
Always ready.
Oh,
Worried
be
about
careful
a
now.
potential
On
demo
Come on
trap.
in. Whoa. Whoa. Oh yeah. Let's go for it. Whoa.
We control
Plug
the
it up.
skies.
Humvee here.
Unit lost.
Come
Laser
on.
defense is ready. Roger that.
Our
Our
laser
laser
should
should
keep
keep
'em
him off.
Got room for five. Come on. Plug it up. Let's go. You want some of this?
Unit lost.
Break it loose. Chew on these.
Going up.
Come on in. Whoa. Oh, be careful now.
Unit lost.
What do you need? Want to make some
Look it up, look it
improvements?
up.
What's the story?
Find me a vehicle.
How about a lift?
Yeah. I want to blow
Come
something
on
up.
in. Come on. Humvee here. It should be fun. How about a lift? Come on in. Whoa.
Unit lost.
Let's go.
We control
Oh!
the skies.
I was not paying attention.
Keep 'em up.
How about a bit? Oh yeah.
I'm actually gonna
Oh
try and
yeah.
deal with that.
Our base. Oh yeah.
Experience. Deadly efficient.
Time demo charge.
Upgrade complete.
Gunship reporting in.
Overkill, but
Country. Loaded with US
it's not that bad.
Come on in. Looks like a good run. Got room for 5.
Still being a massive nuisance.
Time demo charge.
Want to make some
Unit
improvements?
lost.
Build. Clocked in. In the field. Frequencies open.
Right here.
Our laser should keep them up. On patrol.
Got my missile launcher right here.
Yep. Our laser should keep them
Right
up.
here. Got my missile launcher right
Be able to
here.
sneak this in as well, which is important.
Got my missile
Comanche
launcher.
here.
Got my missile launcher
Making a
right
sweep.
here.
We're going in.
Got my missile launcher. Got my missile launcher right
Rocket
here.
launcher
Got
now
ready.
available,
I'll
sir.
get
Upgrade complete.
Yes,
Got my
sir.
missile launcher.
High
Got my
and
missile
low.
launcher right here.
Safety booby trapped his
Got my missile
buildings.
launcher right here.
Come on in.
Deadly efficient.
He did
Time
not.
demo charge.
New construction.
I'll fire it.
Unit lost.
Nice.
I've seen it
So
all.
that's refinery gone as well.
All finished.
We can finish this off
Laser
with
defense
Raptor.
This is our territory. Roger that. We'll take this area. We control the skies. Deadly efficient.
Aw, he had a booby trap on the oil.
What do you Laser defense is ready.
Bucket up.
Upgrade
Flying high.
complete.
Layering them up. Little air show for our fans out there. Let's take this.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't build this.
And at this point, we're basically good to win.
build this.
We don't really have to do much.
All finished. Want to make some improvements? Comanche here.
Unit lost.
Let me launch one.
I have a ton of MDs to defend.
You bet. Yeah.
I don't think you can really win.
Yep. This is our
Particle
territory.
cannon ready.
Yeah, just do this.
Particle cannon activated. Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
Any more projects?
I do not blame him. A lot of people hit this map.
You are victorious. Low power. Unit lost.
Okay. How I fix the lag in my game? I'm probably not the person to ask for that. Hi America, hi Millard. Let's see.
We have big plans.
Find a super weapon. Could rush MiGs.
We will live in prosperity. Mines are dangerous to China. I build for China. Construction disarm those. Let's build. It will look real nice when it's done.
I think bunkering up for
I
MiGs
build
could be a
for
good
China.
call.
A very good plan, General. We have big plans. Build orders complete, real nice when it's done.
Like a barracks here to bunker that as well.
Construction will live in prosperity. That's
Could
a
make the
good
barracks here,
choice.
in all honesty. Take this
Pick
quicker.
up some goods. Let's pick up some goods.
Build orders complete. We have big plans.
Oh, that's an EMP.
We are pretty busy here. Move the goods.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Carrying hell through their armor. Yes, General.
That is
This
bad
is
though.
tight schedule.
I have many bullets for that barrage.
There is much money to be made.
China's rocket soldier.
This
Everything
is
is up.
tight schedule. Supply truck here.
Gun barrel spinning. Ah, yes.
We will live in prosperity.
Enemy tanks.
Ah.
Enemy. We'll tear through their armor.
Let's get these
Okay. Barely saved the game by doing that.
We have big
can't
plans.
hide from
That
me.
could have gone
That's
so much more poorly.
Everyone okay back there?
I like the big targets.
China's armored trench. That's an
Unit
easy one.
lost.
Still
We
did
have
not go
plenty of
great.
seats. Next up, the front line. I
Tank
have
hunter
many
here.
bullets to
I'm
spare.
carrying the
We
big
will
gun.
live in prosperity.
crawler, tiny.
Construction is complete.
Crawler stopped as well.
Troop crawler signing in. The People's Army. We are the Red Guard. The People's Army. Defenders of the plenty of seats. Keep
Where's the
cylinders
Gatlings?
oiled. Let's get out there.
Building is
Next up,
complete.
the front line.
Enemy tanks out there. Let's find the target.
I think napalm
Barrel spinning.
would be a pretty big
Unload.
move.
Troop crawler
Stage.
signing in. Of course. Ready for action. Don't stop till it's over. Unload. Keep the cylinders oiled.
He's cornering himself by doing that.
Let's build.
Of course. Unload.
Ah! Man. So close.
Unit lost.
Next up, the front line. Yes, right away.
There is much money to be made.
China's rocket soldier.
Ah, that's so annoying, man.
Tear through their armor.
Ready for orders. They cannot destroy China.
This is
We will
tight
get more
schedule.
supply.
I should have been able to win
Upgrade
this.
is complete.
Tank hunter here. I'm carrying the big gun. We'll tear through their armor.
This was actually a winnable
Tanks out
position.
there. China's rocket soldier through their armor.
Gun barrel spinning.
Unit
Keep the
lost.
cylinders oiled. Okay, here we go.
It's really gonna come down to this one
Tanks out there.
MiG, I think. Okay, I think I won.
Unit lost.
Gun barrel spinning. Keep the cylinders oiled.
My unit's bugged out.
We are pretty busy here. This is tight schedule.
I like the big
Barely.
China has been generous.
We are pretty busy here. Our supplies over there.
We defend China's airspace.
I have to worry about a drop as well.
Supply
Tactical
truck here.
fighter reporting.
We are pretty busy here.
China's Air Force.
Unit lost.
We defend China's airspace. Initiating air patrol.
China's rocket
Gatling
soldier.
tank, ready for action.
I'm carrying the big gun. Enemy tanks out there.
It is possible to lose if I
have
get
big
dropped, I
plans.
think.
I have many bullets
Aircraft
to spare.
standing by.
Let's
MiG en
check
route.
Let's pick up some
oil.
goods.
Strapped in and ready.
Keep the cylinders oiled. Okay, here we go.
MiG in flight.
I'm carrying the
I
big
built
gun.
for
I like
China.
the big targets. China's rocket soldier.
Strapped in and ready.
I like the big targets.
Aircraft standing by. Tactical fighter reporting. MiG in flight.
Yeah,
Air
he
patrol on
he
station.
can't fight MiGs with GATs at this stage.
We are victorious.
It's very close.
Unit lost.
That was very, very close. Let's pick something else here.
We will live in prosperity.
New QS. Not particularly great.
China has been generous. I build for China. We have big prosperity. China has been China. Build orders complete. China will grow larger. We will live in prosperity. A very good plan, General. Let's build. We will live in prosperity. We have big plans. Building is complete. Real nice when it's done. Building is complete for China. China will grow larger.
We're actually gonna try a bit of a greedier build order with
Let's pick up some goods.
some kind of defensive play.
Let's pick up some goods.
Building is complete. Let's build. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Construction built to spec. I build for China. A very good plan, General. China will grow larger.
I like the big targets.
Let's build. A very good construction is complete.
Tank under here. Yes, General.
I have many bullets.
Building is
Ready for
complete.
orders. Defenders of
China's rocket soldier.
China has been generous.
right here. Need a bullet barrage?
Where is the battle?
Yes, General.
Move order confirmed. They want to see. China needs us there.
Unit lost.
Working the dozer a little bit. It's not a bad start.
Need a bullet barrage?
We have big plans.
Gatling tank, ready for action.
Upgrade
Of
complete.
course. Gun barrel spinning. The People's Army. Need a bullet barrage? Keep the cylinders oiled. We are the Red Guard. This building is ours. Ready for action. Gun barrel spinning.
I like the big targets.
Need a bullet barrage?
Let's build.
Keep the cylinders oiled. Defenders of peace. Gatling tank, ready for action. Need a bullet barrage?
Fighting for the Red Army.
China has been generous.
There's this army.
Keep the cylinders oiled.
Moving to new area. Move order confirmed.
Unit lost.
Gatling tank, ready for action. Okay, here we go. I have many bullets to spare. Push them through. Need a bullet barrage. Spin them up. Keep the cylinders
Unit
oiled.
lost.
Of course. Yes, moving now, sir.
We have big plans. Are you speaker tower will
Ready for
ready
action.
soon?
Let's try and just push down side.
We are the Red Guard. Keep the cylinders oiled.
Speaker
Need a
tower
bullet barrage?
is ready.
Gatling tank, ready for action. Don't stop till it's over. Spin them out. Okay, here we go. Of course. Let's get out there. Of course. Okay, here we go. Gun barrel spinning.
Subliminal
yes.
messaging upgrade.
Who goes down?
CM tank.
Rapid fire.
Triangulation
Bring it
complete.
to high speed. Ready for action. Gun barrel spinning.
Are you speaker tower should be ready soon?
Need a bullet
A beacon
barrage?
has been placed.
Yes,
So search.
yes. Push them through.
Mission rate
Keep the
steady.
cylinders oiled. Let's get out there.
Speaker
Let's get
tower.
out there.
Frequency jammers
Unit
on standby.
lost.
Triangulation complete.
Gun barrel spinning. Okay, here we go. Gatling tank, ready for action.
Mission rate steady. Triangulation
What
complete.
do you need?
CM tank. Resetting
Ah.
navigation system. CM tank. Missiles won't get through. Mission rate steady.
He's actually killed his own oil.
Frequency jammers on standby.
I build for China. Ah, yes.
ECM tank. Inputting coordinates. Inputting coordinates.
I build for China.
Missiles won't get through. Triangulation complete. Inputting coordinates. Emission rate steady. Emission rate steady.
Speaker tower will be ready soon. I am in control.
Frequency jammers on standby.
Let's build. Space location is ready. This is the Overlord better be good.
Keep the cylinders oiled. Gatling tank, ready for action.
ACM tank.
I am going to have eco. And if this goes long, I can set up for nuke mix. Should be good.
I will tell you everything I hear.
Missiles won't get through. China has been generous. Emission rate steady.
Tune in to the enemy.
There's
Jammers on
the army.
standby.
Gun barrels adjusting frequency.
Unit lost.
Missiles won't get through. Noise level set. Emission rate steady. Inputting coordinates. Resetting navigation system.
We have big plans.
Noise level set.
Our power
You honestly
is low.
might just get cornered.
They won't know what happened. ACM tank.
Unit lost.
Emission rate steady. Inputting coordinates.
China has been generous.
ACM tank.
Did lose a fair bit.
We have big plans.
Ready for action.
Noise level set. Inputting coordinates.
China.
Just protect this
Emission rate steady. Resetting navigation
as
system.
much as we can here.
Resetting navigation
Gun
system.
barrels spinning.
Unit lost.
Emission rate steady. Frequency jammers on standby. ACM tank. Missiles won't get through. Frequency jammers on standby.
We have big plans.
ACM tank. Resetting navigation on standby.
We will live in prosperity.
Emission rate steady. Missiles won't get through. ACM tank. Frequency jammers on emission rate steady. Inputting coordinates. Missiles won't get through. Emission rate steady. ACM tank. Resetting navigation jammers on standby.
Building is complete.
Keep the cylinders
I
oiled.
built for China. Looks promising. This is the
Missiles
Overlord
won't get through.
tank.
Triangulation emission complete. Rate steady.
It is time. Speaker tower will
Emission
be
rate
ready
steady.
soon.
I have many
Unit
orders.
lost.
Missiles won't get through.
He might get pincered by this
No more.
actually.
Emission rate steady. Resetting navigation
Yeah, he
systems.
could get trapped if
Missiles
he's not
won't get through.
careful.
Jam their frequencies. Enabling power train. Emission rate steady.
Gatling tank, ready for action.
What Speaker tower will be ready soon.
Keep the cylinders
This
oiled. Ready
is
for
the
action.
Overlord
Gun
tank.
barrels spinning.
Frequency
Missiles
jammers on
won't get
standby.
through. Building is complete.
Triangulation complete.
Bullet barrage.
Speaker
Push
tower
them through.
is ready.
Missiles won't get through.
Gatling tank,
Emission
ready for
rate
action.
steady.
Unit lost.
Gun barrels spinning.
I am big.
Need a bullet barrage.
Ah, bad micro.
Tank.
Frequency jammers on standby.
Keep the cylinders oiled.
Emission rate steady.
I have many
Frequency jammers on standby. Enabling power
Gatling
train.
tank, ready for action.
Frequency jammers on standby. Emission rate steady. Frequency jammers on
Upgrade
standby.
Gun
complete.
barrels spinning.
Unit lost.
Gun barrels spinning. Need a bullet barrage. Of course. Let's get out there.
Did lose quite a fair bit.
Ah, yes. Let's get out there. Move those belts.
China has been generous.
Unit lost.
Take it into high gear.
This better be good.
ACM
Building is
Noise
complete.
level set. Missiles won't get through.
That
Enabling
A10.
power train.
Very unfortunate.
I can
Emission rate
disarm
steady.
those.
Jam their frequencies. Enabling power train. Resetting navigation systems.
Unit
Keep
lost.
the cylinders oiled.
Triangulation complete.
Ah.
Emission rate steady. Frequency jammers on standby.
I see.
Ah, that's
Unit
game ending.
lost.
Construction is complete. China has been generous.
I need to make sure he doesn't collect. If he doesn't collect, I'm okay.
We have big plans.
Upgrade complete.
Yeah, I have nuke mix.
Been generous.
Gun barrels spinning.
Nuke mix alone are gonna make this very good for me.
China's Air Force. Enemy underground.
Congratulations. Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
Mission rate steady. Noise level set.
We have big plans.
Frequency jammers on standby. Noise level set.
Aircraft standing by.
ECM tank.
China's Air Force.
We will live in
Unit
prosperity.
lost.
Standing by. Copy that. Strapped in and ready. Enemy
China
underground.
has been generous.
Make in flight.
I built for China.
It's a fail.
Looks promising.
Frequency jammers on standby.
China has been
Inputting
generous.
coordinates.
I built for China. We have big
Strapped
plans.
in and ready. Tracking target.
I think I messed up.
Keep the cylinders oiled.
Unit lost.
Yeah.
Prosperity.
Inputting
If I didn't,
For China.
yeah, I think I failed
Frequency jammers on
to
standby.
Been generous.
secure this now. Because now he's just gonna mine the middle infinitely.
Let's take a look.
Strapped in and ready. Objective sighted.
Probably sell this.
I built for China. Looks promising.
Unit lost.
Ah,
They're
yes,
good
this
hits,
big
but
attack
I don't know if it's
will be
enough.
ready soon.
Keep the money
We have
flowing.
big plans.
ECM tank.
Overlord is waiting.
Make in flight.
Ah!
Mission rate
Speaker
steady.
tower is ready.
Noise level
Crap.
set.
Gun barrel
Unit
spinning.
lost.
ECM tank.
We will live in prosperity.
Mission rate steady.
Bullet barrage. They're attacking
Oh,
our
there goes
base.
the MiG.
Triangulation complete.
We have big plans.
Keep the cylinders oiled.
ECM tank.
That's super important to kill.
Triangulation
Fighter,
complete.
China's Air Force.
Frequency jammers on standby.
We will
Try
live
something.
in prosperity. China's rocket soldier.
ECM tank.
Let's build.
Missiles won't get through.
Because now we
defend
have
China's
this
airspace.
locked
Jammers
up.
on standby. Triangulation complete.
Make in flight. Combat air patrol on
ECM
station.
tank. Inputting coordinates. Noise level
Construction
set.
built to spec.
Supply truck here.
Missiles won't get
Whoa, that is a lot.
ECM
Holy
tank.
shit.
Make in flight.
Yeah.
Frequency jammers on standby. Inputting coordinates.
Congratulations, General.
Triangulation
You
complete.
have been promoted. Unit lost.
ECM tank.
I think he might commit. Yeah, he's gonna commit.
Missiles won't get through. Frequency jammers on standby.
Carrying the big gun. Enemy tanks out there.
Missiles won't get through.
Carrying the
Might be a good carpet here.
Frequency jammers on standby.
tanks out there. Yes, General. On the hunt. Let's fight.
Unit lost.
Fortunately, it was a fail.
Tactical fighter strapped in and ready.
Tank under here. Let's find the tanks.
Make in flight. Initiating air patrol.
Could have been a good one.
We will defend this airspace. Strapped in and ready.
It's another
Copy
A10.
We have big plans.
China is under attack.
China's air standing by. We defend China's airspace.
I like the big targets. China's rocket soldier. Let's find the tanks.
Missiles won't get through.
Gatling tank, ready for action. There is much money to be made.
Emission rate steady. Inputting coordinates.
Strapped in and ready.
If that's all his MDs, I think that's a good
Inputting
hit to
coordinates.
go for.
Make in flight.
Missiles
Defend
won't
this
get through.
airspace.
Inputting coordinates.
Let's find the
Emission
tanks.
rate steady. Resetting navigation systems. Enabling power train.
Unit lost.
Corrupt their communication. ECM tanks. Emission rate steady.
China's Air Force. Combat air patrol.
Yeah, this is
on
a
station.
tough one.
Frequency jammers on standby.
Altering course. We defend China's airspace.
Emission rate steady. Inputting
Unit
coordinates.
lost.
Of course.
I have a nuke soon.
Frequency jammers
Just
on
important.
standby. Missiles won't get through. Resetting navigation systems. Emission rate steady. ECM tank.
Keep the cylinders oiled.
Mission rate steady. Triangulation complete.
Aircraft standing by. Tracking
Mission
target.
rate
Oh, no.
steady.
Gatling tank, ready for action.
Mission rate steady. Resetting navigation
Oh.
systems. Enabling
That
power
was
train.
super close.
Enabling power train.
Unit lost.
Noise level set.
He could actually have a Burton. I'm gonna play it safe.
Inputting coordinates.
China has been generous.
This is tight schedule.
Emission rate
Our
steady.
nuclear missile is ready, General. We have launched our nuclear missile.
Noise level set.
Let's build.
Gatling tank, ready for action.
We defend China's airspace. Combat
Frequency
air
jammers
patrol
on
on
standby.
station.
It's good.
ECM
He's
tank.
got drop zone there. I want to find that drop zone.
Aircraft standing by.
Supply truck here.
Emission rate steady.
Strapped in and ready.
ECM tank.
Aircraft standing by.
He's got a Avenger again.
Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
It's pretty big.
ECM tank.
Strapped in and ready.
This is tight schedule.
Keep the money flowing. Missiles won't get through.
Aircraft standing by.
I think I can hit that.
Target's location confirmed.
Emission rate steady.
Yeah, it's a free hit.
Noise level set. ECM tank. Triangulation complete.
Gun barrel spinning.
This is the Overlord tank. I am in control. This will
Frequency
be
jammers on standby.
Oh, that's actually perfect.
ECM tank.
Let's just kill that.
Inputting coordinates.
Save the Overlord as well.
Navigation
We defend
systems.
China's airspace.
Frequency jammers on standby.
I am
ECM tank.
Make in flight.
Missiles won't get through. Frequency jammers on standby.
Aircraft standing by.
Where do
I
you want
don't
these?
know why these guys are stuck.
China's air force. We defend
Could not have
China's
asked for a
airspace.
better hit.
ECM tank. Missiles won't get through.
Strapped in
There
and
is
ready.
much money to be made.
China's rocket soldier.
Frequency jammers on
Let's
standby.
try this again with the
Enabling powertrain.
Make in flight.
China
supply.
has been generous.
ECM tank.
China's air
Missiles
force.
won't get through. Triangulation complete.
Artillery that.
We defend China's airspace.
Might just be a free kill on the Rangers here.
Emission rate steady.
Ah,
Jammers on
Unit
standby.
lost.
Strapped
I
in and ready.
misclicked in time.
Attacking ground forces.
I think I sell prop in this
ECM tank.
to get money. I'd have to sell nuke even if I want to
Missiles won't get through. Enabling powertrain.
collect on the middle again.
China's air force. Initiating air patrol.
I think I sell the
China's
airfield
built for China.
and then temporarily
Emission rate
have no
steady.
airfield, I think.
ECM tank.
I think that's worth it.
We defend
I think
China's
that is
airspace.
worth
Frequency jammers on standby. Noise level set. Resetting navigation system.
Oh my
Aircraft
god.
standing by.
You got to be shitting
ECM
me.
tank.
I wasted my MiG.
We defend China's airspace.
It's gonna take some time.
Missiles won't get through.
Big problem
China's air
is
force.
when you get search and destroy again.
Emission
Building
rate
is
steady.
complete.
This is tight schedule.
Frequency
We defend
jammers on
China's
standby.
airspace.
ECM tank.
For the time being, I
Let's
just
build.
wanna try and get
Ah,
an
yes.
airfield
Missiles
again
won't get
ASAP.
through. Enabling powertrain.
Strapped in and ready.
Emission rate steady. Resetting navigation systems. Noise level set.
He's got Crusaders even. Whoa, that's a lot of Crusaders actually.
Missiles won't get through. Enabling powertrain.
We have big plans.
Frequency jammers on standby.
Throw
ECM
everything
tank.
at them.
Triangulation
China's
complete.
rocket soldier.
Emission rate steady.
Unit
I
lost.
could have TNT'd that.
Resetting
That was
navigation
lucky.
systems.
We are pretty busy here.
I sell.
Missiles won't get through. Noise level set.
Aircraft standing by.
Frequency jammers on
I
standby.
can rebuild my
Much money to
supply.
make.
China has
Never
been
mind, I
generous.
can't. I thought I
Missiles won't get through.
or my
Enabling
airfield.
powertrain.
I thought I was collecting.
Noise level set.
We have big plans.
Emission rate steady.
Let's get out there.
Frequency jammers on standby.
Buys the bait.
Triangulation complete. Jam that frequency.
Keep the cylinders oiled. Ready for action.
Unit lost.
Barrel spinning.
I mean, I don't think I could have asked for a better hit here.
Resetting navigation system.
Ready for
Missiles
action.
won't get through. Noise level set. Emission rate steady. Where do you want these? Frequency jammers on standby.
Of course. Okay, here we
ECM
go.
tank.
Pushing on this again. I think we can
Missiles
almost
won't get
checkmate
through.
him here even
Need a bullet
with
Mission rate steady.
nuke.
Gatling, let's get ready for action.
It is time. This will be over
Need
soon.
a bullet barrage.
Frequency jammers on standby.
It's way too
Noise
risky.
level set. Inputting coordinates.
We will live in
We defend
prosperity.
The
China.
MiG is alive.
Missiles won't
That's
get
good to know.
through. Inputting coordinates. Noise level set. Emission rate steady. Triangulation complete. Frequency jammers on standby. ECM tank.
I built for
Emission
China.
rate steady. ECM tank.
Yeah, he's losing his whole army to this one overlord.
Emission rate steady.
That should be vet 3, I think.
Our nuclear
Almost.
missile is ready, General.
Strapped in and ready.
Congratulations,
frequency
General.
jammers on
You
standby.
have been promoted.
Okay.
ECM tank. Missiles won't get through.
Let's wait a little. On A10 maybe. We could just combo everything
Mission rate
onto
steady.
the command center. I think that's what I want to do. Just A10.
Resetting navigation systems. Noise
That's why I
level
waited.
set.
Rapid fire.
Construction
Inputting
is
coordinates.
Aircraft standing by.
ECM
There's
tank.
bombardment. Think I'm just gonna nuke that.
We have launched our nuclear missile.
Missiles won't get through. Resetting navigation systems.
China's Air Force.
China has been generous.
Emission rate
I think at this
steady.
stage we've won.
Noise level
I
set.
don't see how
Aircraft
we
standing by.
lose here.
Missiles won't get through. Jam their frequencies.
High gear. Keep the cylinders oiled. Get out there.
Frequency jammers on standby.
Yeah, he's selling most of his base. He's
Disabling target.
pretty much unable to defend that.
Powertrain.
Whoop.
Need a bullet barrage. Okay,
Missiles
here
won't
we
get
go.
through.
He's losing
Triangulation
his stuff to
complete.
radiation. Let's EMP this
ECM
in
tank.
case of
I
a
built for
Keep
China.
the cylinders oiled.
Missiles won't get through. Corrupt their
fuel air bomb
communications.
maybe that gets unlocked randomly.
Enabling powertrain.
Need a bullet
Frequency
barrage.
jammers on standby.
Just gonna
Inputting
wait.
coordinates.
Construction is
Emission
complete.
rate steady.
We'll finish
Frequency
up the
jammers on
CC as
standby.
fast as we can.
MiG in flight.
Missiles
Yeah.
won't get
Spin
through.
them up.
Whatever else we have left.
Emission rate steady.
Let's pick up some
Aircraft
goods.
standing by.
Missiles won't get through. Enabling powertrain. Corrupt their communications. Noise level set.
He might have like a command center
MiG
on the
in
side.
flight. China's
I'm
Air
gonna
Force. Initiating
scout
air
that
control.
tank.
actually,
Overlord is
just in
waiting.
case.
Strapped in and ready. We defend China's
Scout
airspace.
there.
Strapped in and ready.
He does.
MiG
There's
en
his
route.
dozer.
Enemy underground.
He has one
the
unit, I
cylinders
think,
oiled.
inside there.
Aircraft
I'm
standing by.
gonna see what it
Emission
is.
rate steady. Resetting
China's
navigation
Air
systems.
Force. Strapped in and ready. China's
I have
Air
another
Force.
MiG, so I don't think
MiG
he's
en route.
aware.
Altering course.
Yeah.
Frequency jammers on standby.
We defend China's
Nice.
airspace.
Emission rate steady. Triangulation complete.
That was very
We
close.
are victorious.
Nice decision making. Thank you, last drop. Appreciate it. Nice commentary. Good to hear you speaking more. Yeah, I don't usually speak because I'm usually, I don't think my commentary is that entertaining when I'm playing the game. Mainly because if I'm focused on playing a game heavily, I will probably say these random phrases to myself that probably won't make sense to most people.
China has been generous.
But I guess if I am focused on teaching, which I'm kind of doing right now, then it's kind of okay. I have somewhat of an ability to talk while play.
Building is complete. A very good.
It's China, so it's gonna try and bunker up, I assume.
Let's pick up some goods. Let's pick up some goods.
I think we just go through one route and push through it hard. Kinda like pushing through the right side.
We have big plans. Construction is complete. I build for China. China has been generous.
Concern is if he goes for a oil cap.
I build for China. Let's take a look.
I will tell you it's very hot in here. Adjusting frequency. Dragon tank. It's very hot in here. I have many bullets to spare. Adjusting gas valve. We'll get the location.
Kind of okay with this.
I think I can hear them.
Oh, wow. Hello.
I will tell you everything. I have many bullets to spare.
Hello.
Set. Moving volatiles.
Hello there.
To the enemy. Adjusting gas valves. Need a bullet barrage.
Nice to
Adjusting
see
frequency.
you.
Gatling tank, ready for action. We'll get the location. I think I can hear them. Gun barrels spinning to the enemy. China's needs. They're attacking our base. We'll get the location. Ready for action. Tuning to the enemy. Everything ready here. Adjusting gun barrels ready.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to play a very aggressive build order, but
Victorious.
I scouted it because I was worried about the left side. Yeah, that was a pretty important scout. I think I was potentially dead if I didn't see that.
What do you want with me?
She like
Yes.
talks.
I'm just a peasant. I will work. A lot of work. Okay, I will work. I'm hungry. I will do what I must. Do not hurt me. There's not enough room for that building. Are there not better tools? I will obey.
Upgrade complete.
I will work. Cannot we live in peace? This hammer is heavy. Do not hurt me. If you say so. I am finished with the building.
Ready for war.
I will obey. That was a lot of work. Okay, I will work.
I'm gonna actually play it very greedy.
I will work.
What Upgrade complete.
I'm hungry. I will work.
I might actually be able to intercept that.
I am work. Finished with the
Ready
building.
yourselves. Ready for war.
Yes. Do not hurt me. Building construction has been completed. I will obey. I do what I am told. Cannot we live in peace?
Upgrade complete.
Prepare to fight.
Okay, I will work.
I want to repair that in case he
I'm hungry.
goes for a quick
Find me a crash site.
tech rebel
A warrior
onto
has
this.
fallen.
No cost is too great. No
Our
cost
clan is
is too
strong.
great.
I think he's actually going for a similar
We take what we need.
thing, you know?
Let's get in the fight.
We are going. Yes, I know. It still runs. It
Hold it
still
down and
runs.
ready.
Float it.
We fear
A
nothing.
What do you
warrior
want?
has fallen.
What?
That was a lot of work.
We are
Float
capturing
it.
to us now.
Float it.
Our courage will be seen by all.
bad.
Our courage will be seen by all.
It still runs.
Oh,
What?
okay, okay, I will
Good idea.
Have a
work.
rebel inside
A
as well.
warrior
fear
has
nothing.
fallen.
It still runs. Our clan is
We
strong.
fear nothing.
I'm just a peasant.
What do you want? It still runs.
Let's go
I
get
will
some
obey.
birds.
We take what we
What
need.
you want? I'm hungry.
Must
We
be
fear
preserved.
nothing. Puncture the next thing. What? We'll break him down.
No cost is too great. Order shall reign. We will
fear
claim it for ourselves.
That was a lot
Find
of
me in
work.
fresh sight.
A warrior has fallen.
Our clan is strong. Float it. Four on the floor.
Let's get in the fight.
We are
I'm
going.
just a
Quite a
peasant.
bit out of that.
What?
Yes, building construction so far.
We have captured the building.
sense danger may be near.
Guarding the
Cannot
GLA
we live in
underground.
what you want?
We have captured the
I'm
town
just
and
a
ready.
peasant.
We fear nothing. Find me in fresh sight.
I will
Prepare
work.
to fight.
Yeah, that's why I didn't repair the garrison. Because he will steal it inevitably. And I can just clear it pretty easy like this anyways.
Will protect us.
I will work.
No cost is too great.
Building construction.
We
has
take what
been
we need.
completed. Yes. If that is
Our
what you
courage
want.
will be seen by all.
Four on the floor.
I
What
will
do you
work.
want?
There's another one.
Prepare to fight.
I'm hungry.
Four on the floor.
I will what work. What do you want with me?
Let's fight.
Our clan
I
is
will
strong.
work.
Float it.
I will work. I will work. I will obey. I will work. I am finished with the building. Yes. You change your mind often. This hammer is heavy.
I'll puncture the next thing that moves. We take what we need.
The building belongs to us now. Let's get in the fight.
I will work. Our work
They
is
will
complete.
The building belongs to
I am
us now.
finished with the building.
Float it.
I will obey. What do you
Let's
want?
get in the fight.
We are going.
Cannot we live in construction has been completed. I'm just a peasant.
I'll make the sacrifice. I'll make the sacrifice.
A warrior
Our
has
clan is
fallen.
strong.
Upgrade complete.
Let's get in the fight.
We are going.
I will die for our cause.
I am a
Do
little
not
worried
hurt me.
about
No
I am
cost is
finished
too
with the
great.
building.
The way is
this
clear.
tunnel.
Hold the town is ready.
I love a crowd.
What do you want?
A warrior has fallen.
Yes,
Quad cannon.
Guarding the GLA underground.
I will obey.
What?
Scorpion, ready to sting.
I am
Our clan is strong.
A
It still
warrior
runs.
has fallen.
Building belongs to us now.
What? Out of my vehicle, all of you.
I will die
Dropped
for
that
our
a bit
cause.
prematurely.
Ready to
That's
sting.
gonna get intercepted.
Ready to sting. Prepare to fight.
Actually,
Four on
held.
the floor.
Oh, okay,
Happy about
okay,
that.
I will work.
We will not be oppressed.
Yeah. I mean, he's quite behind.
I'll make the sacrifice.
Okay, I
We
will
are
obey.
victorious.
I will work. I will work.
I'll make
With a
the
lot of
sacrifice.
work.
Scorpion, ready to
I will
I'll make
work.
the sacrifice.
Building construction has been completed. Our work is complete. I am finished with the building.
Think I might call it a night just because it's a bit late. So I'll probably call it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the replay cast and hopefully you enjoyed these couple of games. And I shall be heading off for now. Take care.